And Fox rocks NASCAR style. It's the 10th race of the season, 400 laps around this three-quarter-mile track. NASCAR on Fox brings you Sprint Cup racing from Richmond, Virginia. Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, a couple of four-time champions and teammates, have been going at each other. They've smoothed things over supposedly. We'll see right away because they start across from each other in row 2 for tonight's race, and we're glad you're with us. The weather terrific, a warm day, but cooling off this evening. Temperature should be in the 70s. No threat of rain at our Hollywood Hotel, located just off the backstretch. It's where America gathers every weekend for NASCAR. We're glad you're with us. Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Hamlin, Chris Myers, and wow, Richmond, a lot of storylines we'll cover, but you called Richmond the Talladega of short tracks. Why?
Well, you're going to see the same thing here. If you liked last week's race, let's say, you're going to see the same thing here tonight. You're going to see 3 wide, 4 wide. You're going to see bump, but you're not going to see drafting, but you will see speeds 130, 40 miles an hour. This place is fun. That's the only thing they say about this place. Drivers say it's fun. Only place I know they call it fun.
The fastest short track we run, Chris.
And Kyle Busch is on the pole. And before we get into tonight's race, Darrell mentioned a history-making Talladega worth looking back on. Fans, you know, they listen into driver and race team communication during the race. Always informative and entertaining, especially when you have an all-time mark of 88 lead changes and 29 leaders. Reality radio and racing makes for good TV.
She's the biggest, she's the baddest, she is the fastest.
Fast, man. Don't get offended and don't raise your voice to me. You just need to take a deep breath. You're really doing a good job, man. Inside, no help. Oh, you got a lot of help. Who's driving that? Because they can't hold a straight wheel. Thanks, Kyle. Jack Roush just has on the track. Is there anybody I can catch here? Think I can draft with? He'll have 43. If we're nose to tail, I'm his best friend. Let me know if we need to be on the same channel and you do like a play-by-play and I just follow. I think that's a pretty good idea, actually.
Jimmy Johnson crowded Jeff Gordon down on the apron.
Earl, did I pick a bad time to switch down to the bottom? I heard that 24 and start that.
This will be the first time. 3 tries at green-white checker.
All right, buddy, just the 2 of you now. Not yet, just keep coming. You'll get them. Use that line to help you now. Play a defense. Got to go left. Stay on them. Go. Looking inside. Keep on them. Keep on them. He's inside. Dig hard. Dig hard. Hell yeah.
It's Harvick! He timed it perfect!
Baby! Yeah!
8th closest finish in NASCAR history, and of the top 10 in that area, Kevin Harvick's been involved in 3, but top to bottom this race. 3 green-white checkers, right, overtime, all the lead changes. Best race ever, maybe?
Broke all the records. That's all I got to know. It's got to have been one of the best races I ever saw at Talladega. Maybe best race I've ever seen.
You know, I don't care about records. I like the fact that we saw some great racing, some good pushing and shoving. In the end, we saw one of the most spectacular moves I've ever witnessed in 30 years of racing.
From start to finish, well, it may be uncertain what Kevin Harvick's move will be next year, but there's no question he pulled off one of the best moves ever to seal the deal at Talladega. His last win before that, Daytona 500 2007, so his timing good here, snapping a streak of 115 races without a victory.
Closers in the business on a super speedway.
Kevin, part of Richard Childress Racing, and nice enough to join us live, getting ready to roll tonight. Kevin, thanks for that, and congrats on a great win. I know you practiced that move that you pulled off at Talladega. What kind of moves are you practicing for tonight?
It's all about the handling of the car tonight. You got to keep the balance of making the car turn in the center of the corner and keeping that forward bite up off the corner. So hopefully our Reese's Chevrolet has as good a mixture as they do in the candy itself between the chocolate and peanut butter tonight in the car.
Oh, well done. Smooth there.
I like that.
Drop that right in there. Hey, Harv, I'm listening to the radio transmission between you and Billy O'Day, the spotter, and he absolutely called every move that you come down to the start-finish line there. Stay on him, move left, move right, and you got him. That had to be special for you.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Before the race, we had talked about what we wanted to do at the beginning, when we wanted to start going back to the front with 50 to go, and we wanted to be second coming into the tri-oval. But we knew we had to be attached to the car in front of us on the bumper to get that actual good side draft, and it just all worked out perfect.
Well, congratulations, Kevin. I mean, it was a great win, but because of that, has this helped next year? I mean, you and Richard, I know you've been working trying to put this deal together for, you know, what's going to happen in your future. Does this help kind of get things better with you guys, maybe get a deal done?
Well, I think right now you concentrate on everything week-to-week basis, and winning races takes care of a lot of things. So we continue to do that. That's what we need to do.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Good luck tonight.
All
We
right,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks.
All right,
Put your game face on.
All right, he doesn't want to say, but Richard Childress said, hey, we're hoping to get something done with maybe a new sponsorship. Is that a key to whether he stays at Richard Childress Racing?
Well, absolutely. You got to have money to go racing. I mean, that's the key to anything as far as success in racing is concerned. And I think this weekend or last weekend really helped kind of do that.
It's very simple. What are your options? I mean, that's the way I look at it. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Being at Childress right now is not a bad place to be.
And being in this race, you know, more than half of the races we've had this year have been decided in overtime, including the triple overtime, 3 green-white checkers in Talladega. All right, coming up, here's what's around the turn. This Bud is for 2. Darrell Waltrip and Kasey Kahne. Budweiser, the number, the car. They get together and chat about the good old days. And they say they have smoothed things over, but the tension has been mounting over the last few races between Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. And could it be Junior driving the 3 car? We'll talk about that, plus gas and go. We're glad you're with us. It's NASCAR on Fox, live from Richmond.
Ready to rock, Denny Hamlin.
He sent a strong message to his team and to the competition. I don't roll over.
Denny moving on up after 9 races in the Sprint Cup point standings. Johnson moving for that 5th straight championship. All 4 of the Hendrick drivers are in the top 12. Junior hanging in there. Hasn't won in 66 races. Carl Edwards, amazingly, has not led a single lap this season, in 13th place. And the number of points we're showing you here, this next group, that's from the final chase spot, that 12th spot, so some work to do. And the DirectTV head-to-head competition continues. What kind of matchups are you guys looking for tonight?
Oh, I'm really watching the 42 versus Kevin Harvick in the 29. I think these 2 guys are going to really make a great show tonight, but I believe Kevin Harvick has definitely got the upper hand. If I'm betting on somebody, it's going to be the 29.
Well, I'm going to go with the 9 and the 33, and I'm going to take the 9 because, after all, I'm a team player, and he does have the big Bud on the hood tonight. So I'm going to Kasey in the car and Bud on the car. I'm going with that combination.
With his heart.
All right, and to learn more, go to DirectTV.com/NASCAR. Kasey Kahne celebrated his 30th birthday last month. He was only 5 years old when Darrell Waltrip drove the 11 Budweiser car in 1985. Times change, and so do car numbers. And to celebrate the 25th anniversary of that championship season, Kasey's car has a retro look, and this weekend was able to talk with Darrell about the good old days and the great days ahead.
Hey, man, love the car. This whole retro paint scheme is pretty awesome. Nice job. I love the number. Old school.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Exciting for me to be able to drive this car. You guys winning the championship in '85 with it, and just being part of that, I think it looks great. Our team, our whole Budweiser team's excited about it, and we just want to perform. We want to run well. You won the race here in 1985, so yeah. I'd love to win the race in this car.
Trust me, I'd love to see you do it. That big Bud on the hood, I'd love to see that coming off the corner. Matter of fact, your first win came right here at Richmond.
Yeah, that was 2005. To pull it off here at Richmond, a track that's so racy.
You think about your history, and this is this only Cup car you've driven. Have you talked to Dale Jr. about what that's going to be like, that transition to a new operation? Have you thought much about that?
That's definitely one guy I want to talk to is Dale Jr., and he's came up to me, and we've talked a little bit, just short stuff at the track, you know, and then I think, you know, Jeff Gordon would be great, and Jimmy Johnson. I mean, those guys they've done a lot in this sport, so I can't wait to be able to pick their brains and learn from them and work with them.
You're not intimidated at all, are you, by your future teammates? I mean, those are some heavy hitters there, you know.
I'm not intimidated, but I think I'm excited to be part of that. Jimmy wins a lot. Jeff wins a lot. I look forward to it more than anything. I just look forward to having that opportunity.
Great car, great look. I like the old school. Got the old school number. It's all good.
If you roll this bad boy into Victory Circle tonight, you know, can you make a little room in there for DW?
So yeah, I mean, there'll be room for you for sure. Come down and celebrate with us a little bit.
I've been in Victory Circle for a while. It'd be kind of fun to do. You know, Mark Martin talked to Kasey about coming to Hendrick Motorsports last year. That was the first time Kasey even considered it. So here he is going to that operation under some scenario. We just don't know what yet.
Yeah, I don't care what scenario it is for him. I think this is a great opportunity for Kasey Kahne to win some championships and definitely win some more races.
You know, Hammond, I think Junior Johnson probably sitting home, he's saying, "That's my car, boys. That ain't your car."
I guarantee he's getting correcting both of us.
I guarantee you. We worked hard on that car. We won some races in it, too.
It's a good-looking car. 11 career wins for Kasey, but 20 races since his last win. For Kyle Busch, the good news is he's sitting on the pole. The bad news is no pole sitter has won a race since last October. But Kyle has taken Richmond. He won here last year. He's been a regular here in the top 10, and Sunday will be his 25th birthday. He hopes that with some help there, he'll mature enough for his first victory this year. Let's check in with Matt Yoakum.
A year ago, Kyle Busch swept both Nationwide and Cup races this weekend here at Richmond. But looking at the trends this weekend, practice and the Nationwide race, what's going to be the biggest key for you tonight to break through with your season's first win?
Last night we couldn't find the handle on the entry. We just were too loose. And with the Cup car, ever since we've unloaded, we've had a pretty decent balance all the way through the corners. So, you know, it's all going to come down to drive off who's got the best forward bite probably tonight at the end of the long runs. Typically we see those here. So our car seems to be pretty good. I'm real proud of the guys and Dave, and hopefully the M&M's Camry stays up front all night.
The Chief M&M has won 3 of the last 8 short track races, trying to make it 3 for 9 here tonight. Chris?
Thanks, Matt. His chances are good. He's due, right? I mean, he's had a good enough car.
Everybody I talked to, he's on their list to win tonight. He's one of the favorites, and certainly based on his performance at Phoenix, and he won here last year. Keep an eye on the 18 tonight.
The only person I've heard that can get in his way, believe it or not, will be one of his teammates. Joey Logano's car is working well, but especially Denny Hamlin. We already know how good he is on the short tracks, and if anybody can beat Kyle Busch, you better watch his teammates.
It's fun listening to him on the transmission on the audio with his team, too. So we'll be listening closely for that.
Yeah. You call that fun?
Yeah, we'll continue here on the pre-race show. They're starting out across from each other in row 2 tonight. Can't we all just get along? NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by FedEx. We understand you need reliable shipping options. FedEx, and by GoDaddy.com domains, websites, and everything in between. We're live in Virginia. Thanks for being with us. The scoring monitor here on track as the sun will be setting here in about 40 minutes or so. And of Tony Stewart's 6 short track wins, 3 have happened here, including the first win of his career back in the fall of 1999, being introduced to the fans. In every sport, teammates expected to work together and support each other, but over the last couple of weeks, the bonds of loyalty between Hendrick drivers Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson have been stretched near a breaking point. Both drivers, 4-time champs, their owner and boss, Rick Hendrick, stepped in this week and said, "Forgive and forget."
You never know these two are teammates, Darrell, the way they're going at each other right now.
We know there's no love there.
4 times a little upset. Oh, he's treated different than everybody else.
Pretty disappointed in how he was racing me today.
You don't have teammates and friends out there. You got to go out there and race hard.
We are seeing a different Jeff Gordon.
48 is testing my patience, I can tell you that.
But certainly it was a little un-Jeff Gordon-like to say what he did.
It takes a lot to make me mad, and I'm pissed right now.
We're very competitive guys. Emotions are high regardless if it's a teammate or not, and we're both doing everything we can to win races.
He pleaded his case, I pleaded mine, and we both said, yep, you know, it's all good, and we moved on.
I can promise you that what will destroy our team is any type of friction like that, and we're not going to allow that to happen.
Jeff, Chad Canal said you guys had some good meetings with Rick Hendrick. Everything positive coming in here?
Oh yeah, everything's good. Shoot, we had a little barbecue with all the teams today. We're all good. You know, at least until the green flag drops anyway. But, you know, I mean, we're competitors. We're going to go out there. We're going to continue to you know, race hard. And that holds true for all the competitors, including our teammates. But, you know, we're also going to try to keep a common respect for one another, you know, until it's time for that checkered flag to wave at the end. And Rick Hendrick, when he gets involved, you know, it straightens everybody up. So it's not going to take away, I think, from the rivalry that does exist within our organization. I think it's a good thing. It's what makes us strong. It's what makes us competitive. It's what drives us. But there are those limits that it has.
Good luck tonight.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Chris?
Thanks, Steve. And you can catch Steve all week at NASCAR Race Hub, drivers, crew chiefs, NASCAR Race Hub, only on Speed. Check local listings for the day and the time in your area. And starting alongside each other, which driver, Darrell, Jeff, deserves more clout, Jimmy or Jeff?
Well, Jeff was there first, but let me just say this. There was a time when it was pretty popular to beat up on Jeff Gordon. Not anymore. And Jimmy Johnson, you know, people are tired of Jimmy Johnson winning all the time, and I don't think they're going to take kindly to this rivalry between these two. I know I talked to Rick Hendrick. Rick said, boys, I don't care what happened at Texas. I don't care what happened at Talladega. I don't want to see you two near each other anymore on the racetrack.
Wow.
Of course, they start side by side tonight, so.
There goes that idea.
I'm getting ready to say, I think Jeff Gordon kind of summed it up, man. We're going to try to play nice, if at all possible, but still, when they drop that green flag, he wants to win a race, and Jimmy Johnson, if he's between him and that checkered flag, you know, I don't think he's going to matter if he has to rough him up to go on and take the win.
I mean, the teammate thing, I think, is overrated when you're out on the track anyway. And Darrell, you know that as well as anybody. But I know Rick Hendrick didn't want him chatting things up during the week. But Jeff Gordon gained a lot of fans by stepping up and at least speaking out.
Watch what I say. Jeff Gordon is today a very popular driver. He's got a lot of fan support. And so he's going to have people on his side. And I think Rick Hendrick would be on his side because he's been in Hendrick Motorsports as long as he has.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like what I think Rick was concerned about. Listen to Chad Knaus right now. He does not want these two drivers to disrupt what he's got going, trying to win a 5th championship with his team, because if it winds up going against his team versus Steve Letarte, all of a sudden that tears down the inner structure.
The thing that I always told my teammates, you don't have to work for me, but will you please quit working against me?
He tells that to Hammond all the time on this show. All right, and we have news with Chad Knaus that we'll get to. Let's check out the Fox News Watch. On Thursday, Dale Earnhardt Jr. unveiled the retro #3 Wrangler car he's going to drive in the summer Daytona Nationwide race. It's a special scheme in honor of Dale Sr.'s Hall of Fame induction. Last Thursday would have been Dale Sr.'s 59th birthday. Cup drivers joining Virginia native Denny Hamlin this week. He hosted his 3rd annual charity race to benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Research and Care. And Friday, Chad Knaus at Hendrick Motorsports confirming a contract extension through 2015. Alec Gustafson, also part of the 5 team, getting that contract ironed out, so that is a done deal. Time now for Gas and Go. You have questions, they have answers. They have not seen the contents of these questions. You're on the clock, Darrell. Why did it take so long to sign Chad Knaus?
You know what? I don't know that it would happen as quick as it did if this little feud between Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson hadn't gotten started here. I think Rick said, okay, I got to get these fires put out. That was a fire right there, and he got to put out.
And we're nosy. How much do you think he's making? $1 million?
Over $1 million. I mean, and plus incentives, it could be a really, really big number.
It's $1 million in bonuses.
All right, so you can move up. All right, Jeff, will Dale Jr. ever drive the #3 car in a Sprint Cup race?
You know, that's a really good question. I think first you got to get him at least in a nationwide car and see how that kind of plays out, because I think he understands and respects the fact that's his father's number, and if I cannot fill up my daddy's shoes, I don't need to be in the 3 car.
Would you like to see it real quick? Yes.
Well, he told me before, at the end of my career, I may decide I want to run that number.
I think that's a good idea.
Be a good thing. All right, Darrell, Denny Hamlin has won the last 3 races run in Virginia. Slow in practice. He's won 2 this year. Can he win today? Can he win a race here?
I think he can. You know, Denny Hamlin is coming here. He's very comfortable. His leg is healing up. He knows he's good here. He knows his car will be good in the race. He didn't qualify that well, but yes, he'll be one of the guys to beat tonight.
All right, Jeff, for you, Kurt Busch, 7 short track wins, but only 1 with Penske Racing. I think he was 2nd at Richmond last fall. How's he looking for this race tonight?
I think he's going to get, be one of the guys you can't overlook because he runs well here. He's led more laps than anybody else as far as short tracks this year. I believe if anybody could be kind of like a surprise, this guy could be.
All right, and speaking of surprises, Carl Edwards 15th in points. That's a surprise. Darrell, for you, what about, is this a chase team right now? Would you say yes or no for Carl?
They got to get some speed in the car. When you don't lead laps, you can't win races. So he's got to get some speed in his car and get up front and show that he's got what it takes to win races.
He gives 100%.
Jeff, all 3 Richard Childress Racing drivers, right, have won here at this track. Right. So which one do you think will be out in front tonight of RCR?
Ooh, right now I think everybody's kind of pointing to the 33 car, believe it or not, of Clint Boyer. They say he was good in practice, talked to his crew chief earlier, and he really believes that they have the right balance to be able to be competitive all night long.
All right, Super Saver won the 136th running of the Kentucky Derby. So if you had a Kentucky Derby horse, what would you name it?
Ooh, let me think.
Come on, you're on the clock here, Darrell.
Big, bad, Boogity boy.
I thought it would be boogity, boogity, boogity.
Well, that's part of it.
Chloe, how about you, Jeff? He doesn't like that.
I'm going to go real simple, and y'all ain't going to like this, but I'm going to call my horse John Deere because nothing runs like a deer.
Oh, man. I like Victoria Lane, too.
Victoria Lane? Okay.
Victory Lane.
What happened to Lumina Bay?
Lumina Bay? I have Lumina Bay.
Mine would
There's
be.
mud in your eyes.
Mine would be print my boarding pass, please. But that's kind of an inside joke.
Myers Wish.
Myers Wish. All right, let's talk. I want to just get a further thought.
Nightmare, wouldn't it?
On Chad. Hey, that was good. The Chad Knaus teaming up. He decided not to play the open market, right? Not to go the Ray Evernham route as a crew chief. Wanted to stay where he knew what was good for him.
That guy's not only a smart crew chief, he's a smart businessman. And you talk about reason why it took so long. I think he was able to structure himself a deal that will put him in a very good position in when Jimmy Johnson's contract ends, he'll be in good shape.
Would you ever put him with another driver? Could he ever team up with Rick Hendricks, say, hey, go with Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Chad can. Yeah, I think Chad can make anybody a winner. I really do. But those guys all have security blankets. Drivers have security blankets. Crew chief has security blankets. Don't want to lose.
He was your crew chief one time.
Have a good call of the race, of course. And you can check him out 3 Wide with Jeff and Larry at foxsports.com. We're counting it down at the start of the race as the drivers and owners and fans are getting ready. The ratings are up, the heat is on, and the racing is ready to happen. Ideal weather conditions for NASCAR on Fox and Sprint Cup racing from Richmond, Virginia. Matt Kenseth currently 4th in points. Greg Biffle is 3rd of his 14 Sprint Cup wins. None have come on a short track. He'd like to change that tonight. Counting it down to the start of the race. We're glad you're with us for NASCAR on Fox.
Race fans, please rise and remove your hats as the representing Quartermaster School's Petroleum and Water Department from Fort Lee, Virginia, present our nation's colors. Please remain standing and join the friends and service members of Crown Royal as they lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome Reverend Joe Ellison from the Virginia Christian Alliance as he delivers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we thank you tonight for this sport that we love so much, NASCAR. Lord, we ask you to protect each and every driver. Put your divine protection over them, not only them and their families. And Lord, we thank you for Henrico County and the Richmond International Race Team for putting this together. But most of all, God, let us remember a brave men and women that serve a country across the world in the military. We ask you to cover and protect them tonight. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and in the Holy Ghost, in Christ's name we pray, amen.
And now please welcome the Commandant's Own United States Marine Drum and Bugle Corps as they perform our national anthem.
Continues. Fireworks, we'll probably see them tonight. The start of the race. from Virginia in just a moment. NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Our congratulations to our NASCAR and Fox audio team this week, picking up an Emmy Award for outstanding live event audio and sound. Appreciate all the hard work our technical crew does week in and week out. The NASCAR Hall of Fame opening May 11th officially. There are tickets available. A few weeks later on May 23rd, you'll see ceremonies on speed. Go to NASCARHall.com for more information and to pick up some tickets for a great stop. All right, Jeff, getting ready to start the race here. Your Verizon checklist. What are you thinking?
It's going to be a little bit different than most times, folks. When you start thinking about here, remember your brakes. This may not be Martinsville, but you can flat get them in trouble if you don't take care of them early on. Remember to encourage your crew when you come back down pit road. You come off pit road and have a mistake and you start getting down on them, they may get down on you and you may have a bad night off of that. Now, the last but not least, remember what happened last night? 4 tires are better than no tires and even better than 2. So I think late in the race, when guys come down pit road, they may be gambling, but 4 tires are going to be the right way to go.
What catches your eye other than Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson starting across from each other in row 2 after owner Rick Hendricks said, hey, stay away from each other? In terms of the starting order, we know that Kyle Busch is on the pole.
But up on the front row, you got to take a look at the 00 David Rudin. We're not used to seeing him qualify up that front on a short track, a little bit of something different. And also, you go back to Black Road, start position number 6 is the 12 car of Brad Keselowski. Penske Racing starting to get their act together. He won the nationwide race last night.
Starting back of the pack, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mentioned he hasn't won a race in some 66 races. He's hanging in there in terms of points. He has won here before, but not recently in Richmond.
No, he's going to have to fight his way to the front. I mean, what have you done for me lately, Dale Jr.? That's going to be the question tonight. Can he work his way up there with the magic of Lance McGrew and everybody on that 88 car? Can he be a contender? That's going to be a tall order starting that far back.
And the native Virginian, also Jeff Burton, who is 12th in points and has had a pretty good car recently, someone worth watching. And let's head down to the track for opening ceremonies as we get ready to go. 400 laps and 300 miles.
Race fans, please welcome retired serviceman, Paralympics athlete, and Crown Royal, your name here, 400 contest winner, Heath Calhoun, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
NASCAR, thank you for your patriotism. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Kevin Harvick win back-to-back races. Will Jimmy and Jeff go at it at the finish line? Is it Junior's time? Glad you're with us. NASCAR on Fox.
Last week, NASCAR on Fox was at the nation's greatest super speedway, where the start-finish line is down toward turn 1. Tonight, we're at the nation's greatest start track, where the start-finish line is up toward turn 4. You want action? This is the place for it. Welcome to Richmond. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip with you to call what we think may be as exciting a race as last week at Talladega, if that's even possible. Darrell, you said in the pre-race, Talladega, the greatest of super speedways. This is the greatest of short tracks.
You know, Michael, one thing it's a little bit different here. Last week, you know, talked about it all being mental. Got to be on your mental game. Got to make the right moves. Got to know when to make that move. Here, it's mental and physical. This little racetrack, 3/4 mile, it will wear you out. These turns are big and sweeping. This front straightaway, you never do really get the car going straight. This place is mental, physical, and it's full of action.
At Talladega, you expect the unexpected. Larry, how do you prepare to avoid the unexpected here?
Well, it's mentally challenged for the crew chiefs because these guys had 3 hours of practice yesterday in the heat of the day. The track was slick, it was hot, it had no grip. We're racing at night, and I think when I look at the field out there, we've got some guys, they don't have great race cars, but they got a good qualifying run. You take guys like Denny Hamlin, Dale Earnhardt Jr. looked good yesterday in the practice. They just didn't cut that fast lap. What they've got to do is be patiently aggressive if that's possible.
Well, you watch the comers and the goers, and where they meet, that's where that log jam is going to be. Let's show you the starting lineup for tonight's race. And as we do, Darrell will dial up a fellow who had a lot of success last night winning the Nationwide Series race here.
And Brad Keselowski, DW here. You got a copy?
Sync the lights to the inside. You'll be 4 stalls past the third
Talking
light.
to his team right there.
4 stalls. Got an opening behind you. Start looking left. You're dump 10 away right there.
All right, buddy. Start looking left. You got a copy on me here?
Sure. I'll see you guys.
And Brad Keselowski, DW here. You got a copy on us, buddy?
10-4. Got you, DW.
Brad, you had an awesome car last night. That track time's got to pay off tonight. How about the hot rod for tonight? She good?
Yeah, this is the best car I've had here at Penske Racing on the Cup side, and hopefully we can duplicate, last night's success. It means a lot to me to have cars this good, and it's just a matter of executing today.
Buddy, does running last night, is that going to give you any kind of an advantage?
Absolutely. The more experience I can get, the better as a younger driver. This track transitions from day to night, so there's a few things I can take from that, and trying to learn all I can. We've got a big year this year and another big year next year driving the Miller Lite car, so got to be ready for that.
All right, my friend, good luck to you tonight. I know the big man, Mr. Penske's up there watching. Put on a good show for him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tonight's race is brought to you by Budweiser, the beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Let's take a look at our FedEx Understanding the Race. These are the trends of the patterns of our 9 spring races here of NASCAR on Fox. First caution, average lap 25. The cautions here normally seem to be lumped together. The longest green flag run, average 96 laps, probably see 1 set of green flag stops. The last caution, average lap 379, but in 2010, 7 of our 9 races, we've had a caution in the last 10 to 15 laps.
Let's go downstairs for our DirectTV pit whip. First to Dick Berggren.
Kevin Harvick, car 29, has had a great year so far, Mike. He is second in points, reflective of that. The big win last weekend in Talladega. 4 times he's won the Nationwide Series, once the Cup Series here. Chris Devoda.
Super Saver won the Kentucky Derby by sticking to the rail. Kurt Busch plans to do the same thing. He wants to stay on the bottom of the track. Steve?
Martin Truex Jr. just 37 points out of 12th with his new race team at Michael Waltrip Racing. But he knows if he's going to be in the chase when we come back here in the fall, he has got to go from being a top 15 team to a top 10, Matt Yoakum.
Kasey Kahne's hoping for a throwback performance with his throwback paint scheme. The 05 winner struggled in practice, though, trying to find grip on both ends of the race car. Balance issues. Kenny Francis made a number of changes. They're hoping that it'll show up soon whether they went the right way. Mike?
Thanks, folks. To check on the status of your DirectTV head-to-head bracket, visit directtv.com/NASCAR. Tonight, 400 laps, 300 miles the distance, pit road speed 40 miles an hour, and the pit window just right about the 100-lap mark. Kyle Busch on the pole, his 6th career pole, his first since Las Vegas. A little more than 1 year ago, his first pole at Richmond in his 11th start. It is a gorgeous night here as the sun dips in the west. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Warm, however, and a light breeze.
DW? Saturday nights, all right for fighting. Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
All right, Larry Mack. Ready to go. It's going to be fun. Green flag.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go short track racing tonight, boys.
Big jump for Kyle Busch to lead the first lap. A bit of 3 wide mid-pack as Scott Speed got way up high down in turn number 1. But thanks to Kurt Busch getting hard on the brake, everybody got through safely.
Kurt cut him some slack, let him get in line. That was a good thing to do first lap.
But Mike, what I see, you mentioned it right after I did my own camera, the log jam about mid-pack guys that are not, they don't have good race cars. They had a fast car in qualifying. Now they're starting to go backwards.
Yeah, that 82 car, Scott Speed. Good thing he started on the outside because he's stuck out there.
Kurt Busch in the Blue Deuce trying to make it through the middle, and here comes smoke. Tony Stewart in the 14.
Got his old car down on the inside there, the 20 of Joey Logano as they race off into turn 3.
This is what makes Richmond the greatest of short tracks. Yes, you have contact. Yes, you have action, but it's wide enough to race 3 wide, and very few short tracks are.
Mike, very seldom do all the drivers say this is a fun racetrack. This is a fun place to race. These guys truly enjoy racing here.
Tell you what, I've been watching this battle right here for second place. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. He really ran up on David Rudum in the last lap. Gets to the inside. He'll probably complete the pass when they go down into turn 3. Just drives it down in there, hooks the bottom. There you go.
Nicely done. Gordon moves to second, Rudum in third. Johnson fourth. How about that 0-0, Krista?
Well, Mike, do you think David Ruderman is here to race? The words exchanged on the pace laps on their radio: don't take crap from anyone. We are not here tonight to make friends.
Well, when you start up front, that's motivation. That gets the team pumped up. Stay up there. Work your butt off and stay up there.
Jamie Mack coming off a second place finish at Talladega, battling Ryan Newman and Clint Boyer. You're riding with Boyer, who is in 9th place.
I think this is the car to watch tonight. His last win was here 2 years ago, driving the 07 car then. In both those practices, he seemed to have the best car overall.
I think it would be too bold of a prediction to say that a Childress car could very well win this race tonight.
There is the gap. Kyle Busch back to Jeff Gordon. Mark at about 1.2 seconds with Ruderman, Johnson, and Harvick. On the short tracks, Kevin Harvick is not Mr. Where did he come from? Like he is on the super speedways. If Harvick has the car to do it, he will battle for the front all night long.
And I do believe that, like Brad said on
you roll the corners better than next to in front of you.
Said on that parade lap, racing last night here, the track going from the sunlight to the transition into the evening hours, that's a big something to have in your bag as far as what the track's going to do.
I think Jimmy Johnson in that 48, he saw how much quicker Harvick in the 29 was. Didn't even fight him right there. It's too early to be fighting somebody for a position when they catch you that quick.
Coming up out of turn 2, you run out of room here quickly. Watch the 77 of Sam Hornish, the Mobil 1 car.
Car just loose, gets it back in around a little bit. It's just a scrape.
Yeah, it was almost looked like it was in a 4-wheel slide, but yet the back end was sliding just a little more than the front end.
This old girl, these cars here, they'll take that kind of abuse and just keep right on going.
That's Carl Edwards in the 99 to the inside of Hornish. And here comes the hometown hero. You're riding with Denny Hamlin from Chesterfield, Virginia. Matt?
Mike, Denny told me before the race, this is the most he's ever struggled here at Richmond, and it continues. Just told Mike Ford on the radio, we are absolutely plowing through the center of the corner. The car won't turn, and no forward bite off. It is big time loose.
Matt, he's about half a lap behind his Joe Gibbs Toyota teammate, Kyle Busch, who leads this race.
And that's a shocker. I mean, Larry, you got to admit, the guy that dominates this place last year, both races, for the most part, struggling.
Yeah, and they seem like they never really hit on it yesterday. They got a little better, but they never had that dominant look that we've seen so many times with that 11 car and Denny Hamlin.
So it doesn't look like he's going to lead 380 laps tonight.
Probably not.
He does make the pass on Hornish and moves up right behind Menard on the right of your screen with Edwards and Regan Smith. There's the green and black number 11. That is Denny Hamlin.
I think this shot right here supports what Darrell was saying earlier, that you never get an opportunity to rest here, as Kevin Harvick in that 29 just pulls to the bottom, goes by David Ruderman in the 00. He takes over the 3rd spot, but you're only straight just for a brief period down the back straightaway. You're turning from the time you get into 3 till you almost come off a 2.
Yeah, you got a little shot down the back straightaway to kind of set up in a seat and take a deep breath. Rest time you're really turning through a corner.
Juan Montoya in the 42 passes the Tommy Baldwin car. Casey Mears is Baldwin's new driver. Johnny Sauter is off in Kansas with the Truck Series, and Mears was available to fill the seat. Baldwin was happy to get him.
I mean, what a great qualifying run. Casey Mears in the 36 qualified 13th, and right now he's still hanging in the top 15.
Kyle Busch maintains a 1-second lead at 16 laps into the Crown Royal presents the Heath Calhoun 400 on Fox.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, perfectly heroic, and by Toyota.
At 23 laps, Sprint brings you an inside look at what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. There are the eyeballs glued to Fox and new NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile. And the fastest lap of the race so far, Kyle Busch, 21.644 seconds. For the pole sitter, who has now led every one of the 24 laps so far. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed.
The song right now ought to be A Hunting We Will Go, because these guys are starting to slip around, slide around. They're hunting for a little bit higher groove right now. Everybody's moved way up on the racetrack.
Well, I think Kevin Harvick's one of those cars. If you see, Mike talked about the multiple grooves. He's about 2/3 up the racetrack in the corners, and I've been watching his lap times, with the exception when he catches cars. He's a 10th or 2 quicker than those 2 cars in front of him, Gordon in the 24 and Kyle Busch in the 18.
Harvick won here in fall of 2006. He's had 9 top 10 finishes in his last 10 Richmond races.
What I love about short track racing is you have to be aggressive all the time. You can't really ease up on a guy. If you get a chance to pass him, you got to pounce on him. If you got to go 3 wide to make the pass, so be it. Watch Junior here. Junior's in a hurry, man. He's got to get going. The leaders are coming. So he's going to look in here. He's looking under mirrors, and there's Logano in the 20, and
whoa.
He says, whoops. Fools only rush into a hole like that. I ain't going there.
But yeah, this group right here, they're battling back there for the 15th, 16th position, and they're about a half a lap behind Kyle Busch, the 18 car leader.
Last time I saw you do that here, Darrell, you and Earnhardt both ended up spun out and wrecked.
Yeah, well, that was a long time ago.
Well, this was just 1 lap ago. Tony Stewart trying to do the same thing and squeeze between Kasey Kahne and Casey Mears. And it was Kasey at the bat. Kaboom.
What I don't like about that, you don't run that inner liner in these tires, that safety shield, and that could be pretty critical on that right front tire of Stewart, that left rear tire of Casey Mears at 36. Easy to cut a tire down here.
Yeah, with that big old splitter, the way it sticks out, and you run it all the way out here for max downforce, you can cut a guy's tire down real easy.
You know, that 99 of Carl Edwards started 28th. It has taken him that many laps to gain 8 spots up to 20th. Passing here is not easy.
Well, you have so many different grooves to run, but right now he's running in a pack of cars that they're taking all the grooves up till he finally cleared them. Looks like he's cleared this group of cars here now.
Stewart to challenge on the outside at what he calls his favorite racetrack. And Edwards is going to scoot away.
Look at that Bud. Big Bud coming up through there, too. He's following Tony right along. I guess he thinks that's my hero. I'm going to stick with him.
Yeah,
18th on back right there.
You mentioned Tony, Mike. Tony Stewart in the 14 car got his first career win here back in September of '99, his rookie season.
That race is for 19th. Let's get up to 6th place. And our 4-time consecutive champ, Jimmy Johnson, running in 6th. Steve, 5 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit right now, Mike. He's loose in, tight in the center, and loose off. Chad Canals told him to put a little more front brake into it, and that has helped Jimmy in the center. Matt?
Steve, leader Kyle Busch multitasking from the cockpit, telling his team the car is just a tick tight in the center and has a little bit of a forward bite issue. Often says the car is not bad at all, but he's being proactive, looking ahead, taking care of his brakes. He told his spotter to keep an eye on the rotors from high atop the grandstand, and also his team down here in turn 1. They start to get too hot to pull tape on their first pit stop, trying to save those brakes for later in the race.
You know, on a track like this, you always feel like you got to drive the car in the corner as hard as it'll go. That's how you make up time. Drive it down in there harder and harder, and all you're doing is using up your brakes, using up your tires, and you're slowing down. Stay off the brakes.
Wait till night falls. We'll see brakes glowing, sparks flying, fenders flailing. Just the way it is here at Richmond. 35 laps complete. Kyle Busch over Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, David Rudiman, and Jamie Mack. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirectTV. DirectTV, it'll change your life. Call 1-800-DirectTV. Slow car in 4. That's Joe Nemechek dragging Sparks
down. Got it right front
Got
down.
a right front tire that is down.
And he's hit the wall.
Yeah, he's made contact with the wall.
One more to go and then cut it down. Cut it down.
Trying to get, and caution comes out as Joe is shedding debris down the front straightaway and into turn 1. When we went to break, we were talking about brakes. That's B-R-A-K-E-S. Let's hear what some of the drivers had to say about braking at Richmond.
Richmond is very, very tough on brakes, so we got to just do our best to maintain them. That track is actually notorious for brake shake, which means the tire, everything kind of gets out of balance.
So it's a matter of getting out and using when you need to, and then getting off it.
The straightaway's long enough to where the brakes actually cool off, and then you get on them again and they heat back up.
Your spotters will tell you if the rotors are really glowing, and you'll try to kind of back off that a little bit. So you're always trying to conserve brakes and make sure you have the best brakes you can by the end of the race.
Braking is, to me, what allows you to qualify good here, as well as what's going to get you to victory lane.
Richmond Breakdown brought to you by Napa Adaptive One brake pads. For more, go to adaptive1.com. Pit road's open. Steve.
And Mike, Jimmy Johnson says his car is consistent, and Chad Canal said, yeah, but it's slow. Chassis adjustment and 4 tires for Jimmy Johnson. Christo.
Rudiman's complaining of sliding the nose in the center and being too free on exit. Rodney Childers makes the call to take air out of the left sides. Matt.
And a wedge adjustment for leader Kyle Busch. His car's just a tick tight in the center, loose off. Meanwhile, the 24, Jeff Gordon, says it's just pathetic to drive off on his car. He needed to run better through the center of the corner. They pushed a spring rubber in the right rear.
There's the race off pit road. Scott Speed is the free pass car on this, the first caution of the night, which comes out for the 87 of Joe Nemechek, cutting down a tire and hitting the wall.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Join Budweiser as we support America's troops with a $250,000 donation to the USO. You can help our efforts when you buy a Kasey Kahne Armed Forces die-cast car. Visit Budweiser.com for details.
48 laps complete, getting ready for the restart, and Jimmy Johnson mired a little deeper in the field than he would have liked. He's going to restart 14th.
And he lost 6 spots, and that was because they made an adjustment. On the left side, the 48 crew was 4 seconds slower than our leader, Kyle Busch, in the 18.
Actually, Larry, I think it started on the right rear. He dropped the lug nut that got him behind, and then I think he hurried on the left.
Actually lost a second on the right side.
Clint Boyer, power move into turn 1, took him 3 wide with Johnson in the middle, and he's going to come out of it with 5th place. Wow.
Well, I think these guys know that you've got to go while you've got those 4 fresh tires to go. You got to take advantage of it.
4 tires makes you feel like Superman. They got some grip in them when they're brand new.
Now he's behind Jamie Mack, and on the outside, Jeff Gordon.
Wow.
Fighting for 3rd now.
Man, Gordon just sailed that thing around the outside of Jamie Mack in the 1 car. Well, he sailed it up beside him.
Trying to get in there too.
That was Clint Boyer's spotter, Mike Dillon. Right now, I think Boyer's quicker than those 2 cars, but they've got him in a box. They've got him boxed in back there in the 33.
Murray slips up. There might have been a little contact there. Boyer's got an opening. Here he comes.
There you go.
He's underneath McMurray. Gordon 3rd. Boyer fighting for 4th. He's going to get it.
Like we said, you got to go when you got those tires, and you got to go when you get a chance.
You're on the bottom. You'll eventually win that battle.
Love to be on the bottom with somebody on the outside. I got something to bounce off of.
He's not going to get it. McMurray prevails and holds on to 4th. That's some white knuckle racing right there.
What this thing shows how important track position is. You know, you don't want to give up anything right now. You get freight trained if you do.
Kasey Kahne has the inside against Jimmy Johnson in turn 1. This is for 13th place. Johnson has the power coming off the corner.
Kasey's got the 9 car's got the inside, and that's a little bit quicker way around the track right now.
They still have got a lot of work to do, I think, on that 48 car, Jimmy Johnson.
I agree, Larry. That thing's not hooking up too good.
Watch Clint Boyer, who restarted 7th on this restart. Newman outside, Rudeman in the middle. Coming through, boys.
That's what makes this track so fun, though, is you can get into turn 1, 2, and 3, and 4 wide because of the way the front straightaway bottlenecks down into turn 1.
It's when it gets down in the middle of 1 and 2 that will not work. Tight.
Denny Hamlin trying to forge past Dale Jr. Have they made Hamlin's car any better, Dick?
I can tell you about Junior's car, Mike, and the car was much better before that last pit stop. He had worked his way from 25th all the way up to 14th, but he is now back in the 21st spot. The car doesn't run particularly well on fresh tires, but once the tires get worn in against the others, Junior's pretty fast.
I think, Dick, it's probably air pressure as much as anything. You try to run that air pressure as low as you possibly can on the start of a run, knowing it's going to build up considerably over the course of a run.
But we know, we talked about it with our FedEx Understanding the Race, you get that late race caution, you better have a car that can go on fresh tires too and go in a hurry.
Well, that's what these crew chiefs really have to struggle with, Larry. They got to have 3 different combinations of tires. 2 right sides aired up, 4 tires aired up, or leave it alone.
Yeah.
9th place, Ryan Newman trying to hold off Jeff Burton. You know, we've got the Sprint All-Star race coming up on Speed next month, and a lot of drivers who are not yet in it are making pledges to charities if the fans will vote them in. Jeff Burton was asked, well, why do you want the fans to vote you in? He says, I appreciate their vote, but believe me, I want to earn my way in. I want to win a race. I want to get in the hard way. I don't want to depend on charity.
And one of those drivers would be Jeff Burton in that 31 car because he's not locked into that All-Star race.
Bunch of big name guys are really, you know, need to win a race if they're going to be in that thing.
Only got 3 chances left, right?
It's my favorite race, man. I tell you, I love it, that race. Big money, no points.
Joe Nemechek took his car to the garage after bringing out the first caution, where he joins Reed Sorensen, Tony Raines. Here comes Kasey Kahne on the outside, trying to go after Jimmy Johnson again, but now he's got Joey Logano and the 99 of Carl Edwards in the mix.
And definitely Carl Edwards in that 99. He has been our biggest mover. Started back in the 28th position. It's taken him a while, but he's almost the top 15. But here's the battle for second. Harvick in the 29 was good when they dropped the green flag on the restart, but it looks like Jeff Gordon in the 24 car a little better on into this run.
You know what? I think that 24 car, I know the 18 car Kyle Busch is leading this race, but I'd be worried about that 24 car. That man wants to win a race really, really bad.
And I think that's as much of his aggravation about everything, aside from the things that's happened with his teammate Jimmy Johnson, the fact that he's had a great car several times this year, but they've not been able to close the deal.
86 races without a win for Jeff Gordon.
When you're a young man, Larry, there's plenty of sand in the hourglass. As you get older, the sand starts to get lower and lower, and you know it.
13th on back, Carl Edwards gets past Logano and sets his sights on the 9 of Kasey Kahne.
Just to follow, when you're a young guy, you say, oh, we'll get them next week. When you get to be 35, 39, 40 years old, you know that the next weeks aren't that many opportunities.
Trying to get inside, he's not there.
Look at the rotors glowing on that 99 car of Carl Edwards. I mean, it's like molten lava inside that tire.
Up to 1,200 degrees of brake heat.
And the real weak link from that brake heat, we talked about it today at our production meeting, is the tire has a bead that seals it to the wheel. And that's the weak link from the heat, is it just melts that bead, and that very well could have been what happened maybe even to Joe Nemechek a while ago in the 87 car.
If you could ever see, if you folks at home could see when the wheels are off of the car, how big the brakes are on these cars now. The entire inside of the wheel is full of brakes. Yeah. And there's no room in there for airflow, and it really builds heat into the wheel, and That's what melts the bead.
Kyle Busch has led every one of 67 laps so far. Next Saturday night under the lights, the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway. Sprint Cup racing on Fox. The track that dates back to the 1940s in the formation of NASCAR. NASCAR's first super speedway, Darlington, South Carolina.
Hey, what, Carl Edwards in that 99, he goes by Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Steve, still a lot of work to do on this 48 car.
Larry Mack, Jimmy just said he's even tighter in the center, and he's using more brake than he wants to.
Well, and that just compounds the problem. The more brake you use, the more heat in the front tires. The air pressure goes up. That makes the car tighter and tighter, makes it where it won't turn because it's built all that air pressure up in the front tires.
I like what Chad told Jimmy about his car. He said, yeah, you might be happy with the car, but you're not very fast. So when you try to go fast, now you got to use more brake. Compounds the problem.
Kyle Busch started on the pole, and he's led every one of 69 laps so far.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by DirectTV. No one offers as much DVR storage as DirectTV. By Napa, Napa know-how. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Like that scooter? You could win it and other cool prizes, including a VIP race weekend. Log on to ups.com/racing. Enter for your chance to win as we watch David Reagan battle at 25th position with Paul Menard. Kyle Busch has led every one of 77 laps so far at Richmond, including one caution flag when Joe Nemechek bounced off the wall after a cut right front tire.
There's some guys in hot pursuit, though. I'm watching lap times. Right now, Jeff Gordon is matching Kyle Busch's lap time almost to the T. As a matter of fact, those first 5 guys are all pretty much equal.
Before the commercial break, we were talking about the big brakes on these cars and the consequences thereof. Jeff Hammond can show us.
Well, Mike, this is what the guys are running tonight. You see how big this brake assembly is. This thing has also got a scoop that helps to try to cool the brake temperatures. Now, Mike, you guys have been talking about rotor temperatures. This rotor can get up to temperatures almost 1,400 degrees. So that means the pad temperatures are 2,000 degrees. And what you're trying to do is you're blowing this air through this rotor. You're trying to keep it from transferring up into the rim itself. Let's take a look over here at what a tire and rim looks like combined. You see the rim. This is where the bead is. This little strands in through here are nothing but steel beads wrapped in rubber. Now what happens is all this brake heat transfers up into the rim itself. It gets inside, it melts the rubber that is around these steel beads right here. These wires that have been twisted together to make the bead itself. And when it does, when it melts, eventually you wind up losing air in the tire. Tire fails, the temperature you're looking at as far as that rim's concerned, 500 degrees. So anytime this rim gets hot enough, it melts that bead, you lose the air in the tire, just like the 87 car did.
Thanks, Jeff. We're watching Kyle Busch put a lap on another of the hometown heroes, Emporia, Virginia's Elliott Sadler, going 1 lap down in the number 19.
And Mike, that's how racing has always been. We need more brakes, so you put bigger brakes on. Now we need better tires, so they build better tires with bigger beads. It's just constant trying to improve something.
Yeah, there's no question. I think the speeds that teams have gained at short tracks and road courses are not things that makes the cars go faster. It's things that make the cars stop better, like the brakes.
Now here's a fellow who is a master at Richmond. He's won races here. But right now, Tony Stewart is in danger of going a lap down to Kyle Busch. Matt?
Mike, this team has struggled in Tony Stewart fashion from his past performance at Phoenix and Martinsville, so they went with a little bit more of an unconventional setup for Richmond, experimenting for their return trip back in the fall. He is struggling still. The car has no side bite, and it's been dead loose most of the night. Significant change in the last stop, and they've already planning a lot of changes on the next stop as he's trying to go not a lap down to the leader, the 18 of Busch.
Well, it's not often you see Tony Stewart go a lap down in the first 100 laps on a short track.
Exactly, at a place like Richmond. But what Matt mentioned, what Tony doesn't like about the car, he mentioned the word side bite, is when you go down in the corner, you want to make it feel, you want the car to feel like the right front is gripping, but the left side is down in the racetrack too. And right now, Tony does not have that feel of the race car. When you have that, you're not going to go through the corners very good.
He's got no front bite, he's got no rear bite, and he's got no side bite, and he's not going anywhere right now.
Jeff Gordon he's in contention in second spot. It's been about 3 seconds from Kyle Busch back to Gordon, who gains a little, loses a little. So let's call that margin constant. Let's go back to Kevin Harvick, who rides in third. He's about 5 seconds off the lead, and he's just 1 second ahead of the fourth place car, Jamie McMurray. And McMurray has less than a second on Clint Boyer, who got that great restart, but Boyer moved up to fifth but could get no further.
You know what's helping Jamie Mack? I mean, I think you're going to see marked improvement in his racing in the Cup Series, because he's driving that car in the Nationwide Series now. He raced here last night for Junior Motorsports. I guarantee you, seat time is going to help him.
David Rudiman started outside pole. David runs in sixth, and he's 8 seconds off the lead. Kurt Busch and Juan Pablo Montoya were having a bit of a battle. Now settled in favor of Busch. That leaves Montoya in eighth, Steve. 9.8 seconds off the lead.
And Mike, to be truthful, as many guys as love this track, Juan Pablo Montoya has never quite figured it out. Having a good run tonight. Brian Patty, the crew chief, just told him to turn his brake fans on.
And that's because Brian Patty's looking out there as he goes off into turn one, and he's seeing those rotors glowing, so cut the fans on to help pump some more air to the brake.
But I think good road racers, like Juan can really do yourself a lot of favors. He doesn't use a lot of brake. He's learned that from the discipline of racing on road courses.
You know, I'm not surprised to see Ryan Newman in this 39 car up in the 9th position, because we relate this place a lot to the Phoenix track. It's actually the same tire combination. And who won the Phoenix race? Ryan Newman.
Newman in 9th. Jeff Burton anchors the top 10. And here is Kasey Kahne, Jimmy Johnson back at it once again. This is back at 14th behind Brad Keselowski, Mark Martin, and Carl Edwards. Race for 14.
Yeah, Kasey just got around Jimmy Johnson. They'd been actually Kasey been following him for quite a while. He's able to make the move on Jimmy. See, back there in the 17 car also was Matt Kenseth, right behind those two guys.
Newman trying to catch Montoya. There is Jeff Burton, who currently is 10th.
So when you think about it, yeah, we have the 3 Childers cars all in the top 10, but also all 5 of the cars that has the Earnhardt Childers engine package, who also finished 1, 2, 3 at Talladega, they were all in the top 10.
We talked to Brad Keselowski on the pace laps. Last night's winner in the Nationwide race, he got 4 tires and he won the shootout, and currently he is 11th. Mark Martin in 12th. Mark is about 12.5 seconds off the lead after starting 14th tonight. And behind him by about a second is Carl Edwards, who started 28th and has come to 13th. Krista.
That's right, Mike. He started this race a little bit tight, center loose off. Right now, he and crew chief Bob Osborne talking about which line he should run on the track. The short track program has really improved for this team. This is not one of Carl's better tracks, but he's finished top 10 in both of our other short tracks, Bristol and Martinsville, this year.
Kyle Busch is trying to stink up this show. 94 laps, he has led them all. How long can this continue?
I know he hoped for a long time.
Kyle Busch started on the pole and hit the right setup. He and crew chief Dave Rogers have dominated this race, leading every one of the 102 laps so far and performing masterfully in traffic thus far. Here are built Ford Tough track facts for tonight. The 3/4 mile configuration at Richmond now has seen 44 NASCAR Sprint Cup races, 22 years. Dale Jarrett set the track race record in 1997 at 109 miles an hour, driving a Ford. All 43 cars finished the race in September of 2008. That's only the 5th time in 2,200 Cup races where we've had a race without a DNF. Many of those cars were built Ford Tough.
Kyle Busch is fixing to put one of those Fords of Roush Fenway down a lap. David Reagan in the 6 car. So that will put now 24 cars on the lead lap. The next one on his radar is Greg Biffle in that 16 car. Remember, Greg comes in here well up in the top 5 in points.
Remember 2 years ago when one of the Gibbs cars, driven by Denny Hamlin, led the first 206 laps of the race. Led the past halfway.
I'll tell you one thing. I watched the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Nobody gets out of his way. Everybody he's passed or had to race past everybody he's gotten around. Guys wanting to try to stay on the lead lap, and then certainly trying to be the first car lap down for the lucky dog.
Kyle Busch leading, Jeff Gordon second. Kevin Harvick third, Clint Boyer, Jamie McMurray. Let's go all the way back to 15th place. That's where Jimmy Johnson has fallen after starting third. Steve?
Like they had problem on a pit stop, but ever since then, they've got a quandary right now. Jimmy and Chad know they have a problem, but they don't know how to fix it.
Jimmy, talk to me when you can, bud. Tell me what you think we need to work on the most.
The forward bite is a lot better than the first run, but it's just really tight through the center.
You do know that I can't free up the center without freeing up the exit, right?
I do, man. I don't know what to do, but keep working on it and see what we can find.
Well, that's good information. And you know, if this was practice, Chad Knaus and that 48 crew, they could change springs and shocks and things to work on both problems. But I think what Chad will probably do, he'll go ahead and start working on that car not turning in the middle of the corner, get that better, and then work your way around the corner, work on the forward bite, which is rear grip under acceleration.
What I like is the demeanor. Chad talking to Jimmy, Jimmy talking to Chad. Nobody's upset, nobody's hollering, nobody's saying, hey, the leader's coming, you got to pick it up. Concentrate on what we need to do.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. going a lap down to race leader Kyle Busch. Now the track has transitioned to nighttime, to darkness. The track temperature has dropped 10 degrees from the mid-90s to the mid-80s. How much of a change is that? What will the effect be?
Well, it's going to give the car, the tires, just more overall grip. It's not that it's going to change the balance of the car that much. Tony Stewart told us that yesterday in a practice session. It just gains grip. If your car is loose, it will help fix that, where the back end's trying to come out. If the front tires are not gripping, it'll maybe help that situation.
Seemed like when I raced here, it seemed like what you had is what you had. You know what I'm saying? If the car wasn't very good, it's hard to make it good. The car's great, you're happy.
One car that's great is Kyle Busch. 111 laps in the book. He's led them all.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by the all-new 2011 Super Duty, built Ford Tough.
119 laps complete. Kyle Busch continues to lead. The only changes in the top 10. Ryan Newman up to 8th. Jeff Burton up to 9th as Kurt Busch falls to 10th. Let's go downstairs. Chris Myers has an AT&T race break for us.
Thanks, Mike. 21 races since Kyle Busch's last win, and after a record 88 lead changes last week, it's been all Kyle so far. But Jeff Hammond observing here, 4 of the top 5 drivers currently something in common.
Yeah, they all ran the Nationwide Series race last night. Darrell Waltrip was talking about how Jamie McMurray would be improved because he raced last night. I think so far the guys who were on this racetrack were able to fine-tune their cars about what it was going to do during the nighttime, get them better than anybody else, and so far it's proven to be good for them.
Carl Edwards has not led a lap the entire season. Now, he started 28th. He's the highest running Ford up to 13th. Actually, A.J. Allmendinger at 50, the highest starting Ford when this race was run. And Ford is the only manufacturer who hasn't won a race so far this year. And Carl's moving up a little bit. Yeah, he's starting to make a little bit of noise. We had a long ways to go as far as getting through traffic. It seemed like they're making the right adjustments. He continues to kind of like keep pace with the leaders. But again, he's going to have a big break, at least on pit road, I think, to get himself up there with these front 4 or 5 to be able to really make a race of it. And it's a multiple groove racetrack. We have discussed that. We're going to see drivers change the parts of the track that they're racing on as the evening goes on. Why or why not?
Well, it's because, again, the racetrack's going to take rubber. It's going to go through some transitions. You start hunting around as the track cools down. It'll feel a little bit different. Now, Darrell was talking about what you've got is what you've got. We see a great battle here between last night's nationwide winner in the 12 car, Brad Keselowski, and Jimmy Johnson, who has also won a lot of races here, but is kind of like deep in the field right now as they battle along. Here's a guy that needs a lot of work done on his race car.
Junior, he started 25th. He got up, he moved up 14 spots, then he went back. Now he's a lap down as we have just, 21 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've talked about. Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr. This racetrack, when you're trying to get a grip of it, if you go the wrong way with an adjustment, it can send you to the back just as quick as you think it might send you to the front, Chris. And I think we've seen it clearly on the 88 and the 14 that a bad adjustment has really hurt these guys.
Next time around, we'll talk about spotters watching the action on the track and the glowing brake rotors. Be sure to cast your vote. You can all season long for the AT&T fastest pit crew. From your AT&T phone, text the car number you think is the fastest to 2258. Delivered by the AT&T nation's fastest 3G network. Let's return to Darrell, Larry, and Mike, and that is an AT&T race break.
Thanks, Chris. Kyle Busch picking him up, mowing him down. 4.9 seconds up on Jeff Gordon, and he has just lapped his teammate Joey Logano. Logano, one of several drivers who we expected to contend tonight. Add to that list Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle. They've also gone a lap down.
And this is worst case scenario for a car that's off. You got a guy that, like Kyle Busch, has got his car dialed in, and that puts you in big jeopardy.
Dick?
Well, Matt Kenseth told me before the start of the race tonight that he used to be very good at this racetrack, was one of his best, until the new car came into being, and they just have not caught on to what they need to do. This car simply does not have hold of the racetrack, and Kenseth has been sliding back.
Larry, not everybody's backing up.
No, I've been watching this 11 car, Denny Hamlin. Remember, he started back in the 30th position, and they were not that far from being lapped when we got that first caution. Now we're getting close to what will be green flag pit stops, but Matt, it looks like the adjustments Mike Ford made on that first caution is working pretty good.
That air pressure change, Larry Mack, has really helped that 11 car come to life. Denny told Mike on the radio, we are not a huge leap improvement, but we're about 35% better. Let's keep going in the direction that we're headed.
That air pressure thing, Larry, you know, it's one of those fine lines. A pound too low, and you can't drive the race car. Pound too hard, too high, and the car goes off on a long run.
Yeah, they'll be adjusted in 1.5 pounds before it's over with.
18 cars on the lead lap. The last of those is Kasey Kahne, and green flag pit stops are coming.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide Insurance. Call or visit us online for a quote today. By FedEx, we understand you need reliable shipping options. FedEx. And by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way.
The more codes you spot, the more chances you have to win a custom Roush Mustang. Enter now at codespotter.com for Nationwide Insurance. We expect the leader, Kyle Busch, to pit road in about 6 laps.
And I think what you'll see is he puts some of these cars a lap down, like Marcos Ambrose in the 47. Here we see the 37 car hitting pit road of David Gilliland. But as he puts these guys a lap down, I think you'll see them come to pit road to try to get advantage of those 4 fresh tires.
They would love for him to go to the pits. Give him a break, because he is wearing out the field, man. He's lapped up to 17th place now.
Coming up to lap Big Brother. Kurt Busch in 16th. Kasey Kahne's gone down a lap. Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex, Matt Kenseth. All a lap down to Kyle Busch. Before the leader pits, let's go down to Jeff Hammond in the Nationwide pit zone.
Mike, we're talking about pit stops coming up and all the things your crew chiefs have got to do to get their cars exactly right. On top of the pit boxes, a lot of decisions are made. You can see really quickly, we've got quite a command center up here. We got a quad split. We're watching battles all around the racetrack. Here comes pit stops already on pit road. Watching NASCAR on Fox. Time is scoring. Everything is happening. And Matt Jotham right now, those decisions are being made right here on pit road.
Absolutely, Jeff. And Dave Dave Rogers has already got the call ready for Kyle Busch. They're going to go with more of the same they did on the previous stop. That's what Kyle Busch said he needed, which is going to be a wedge adjustment. The car just a tick tight in the center and just a tick free on exit, but not bad at all as he was yarding the competition. Directly behind him, the 9 of Kasey Kahne. His car extremely tight, would not turn, losing a ton of spots. Wedge adjustment. Krista.
For Jamie McMurray, his car's just a little too loose. There you see the 00. The 00 is putting some wedge in the left rear. David Ruderman trying to free up his car on the exit.
Half the field's been in within the last 2 laps. McMurray out. As we stay green at Richmond at 143 laps, Jeff Gordon becomes only the 2nd leader of this race. Clint Boyer getting 4 tires and Sunoco race fuel. And Kevin Harvick comes in.
Matt, here comes Kevin Harvick.
And Kevin Harvick on pit road. They're looking for an air pressure change in the 29 car to help him on exit. The 24 of Jeff Gordon's on his way down. Meanwhile, Harvick's team going to work on the right side. Gas in. No chassis adjustment needed for the 29. Good stop so far. The 24 team waiting for his car to hit his pit box. Good stop so far by Harvick. He's away. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon, his car was good down in 3 and 4. But he says it needed a little bit of help in the center of 1 and 2. Air pressure change for the 24. He said he felt like that the 18 had gained something on that previous run. There's Newman. Krista.
Ryan Newman is in. They made a track bar adjustment on the last stop. Another adjustment this time. 4 tires for Ryan Newman and the 39 team.
Kyle Busch quickly cycles back to the lead as Denny Hamlin makes his pit stop.
Kyle's got his hands full right now, Larry. Mike, Jimmy Johnson here does not want to go that lap down, and he is really making it tough on our leader.
And Jimmy Johnson in this 48 car right now is running in the 9th position. So we have 9 cars on the lead lap right now at lap 145.
I think it wouldn't be. I think Johnson is thinking about maybe I need to slide this dude up the hill a little bit and get away from him.
Boy, that is not going to be easy. As Kyle Busch, after the stop, has doubled his lead on Jeff Gordon to 7.8 seconds.
And Kasey Kahne in that 9 car behind Kyle Busch, he loves the fact that Jimmy Johnson in the 48 got in front of Kyle, because now if the caution comes out, the 9 of Kahne would get the free pass.
Now Mark Martin almost had troubles getting onto pit road as Regan Smith in the 78 locked them up between turns 3 and 4. That's Smith just ahead of Mark Martin. Trying to get down to pit road speed, and since Smith has the very first stall on pit road, he had to get even slower than that to get stopped right past the commitment line. Mark almost ran over him.
Well, you don't want to get caught speeding at no racetrack on no pit road, but if you have to do a drive-through penalty here, you're going to go another 2 laps down. Steve, the 5 car, they keep working on it though and trying to make it better.
Larry Mack, I got to tell you, Mark Martin in the 5, one of the few drivers who I've heard say this car is getting much better over the long run. In fact, they made no adjustments to that 5 car on the last stop.
Now, the only problem though right now, he's in a 20th position, one of many cars that's 1 lap down.
I'm just watching this battle right here. Something's going to give right here, because Jimmy Johnson is really making it tough on Kyle Busch in the 18 car. And Kyle, you know, he runs out of patience in situations like this. And of course, Jimmy's fighting for his life right here.
Well, this is accomplishing 2 things for those Hendrick Chevys. It's keeping Jimmy on the lead lap, and it's allowing Jeff Gordon slowly to close back up on Kyle Busch.
Obviously, they made that 48 car a ton better, Larry, because he couldn't even stay on the same straightaway with Kyle Busch in the 18 car before that last pit stop.
But isn't it amazing when you see that leader right there on your rear bumper, what you can find in a race car sometimes?
Oh, yeah, I've heard the crew chief before say, how bad's your car now?
But I do believe that if I'm Dave Rogers, the crew chief for Kyle Busch, or maybe even Jeff Dickerson, the spotter, tell Kyle Busch, you've got a 7-second lead right now. Just maybe use a little bit of patience here.
I wouldn't worry about, you know what, my theory always was, don't race people that can't beat you. And right now, Jimmy Johnson can't beat you, so don't use your car up at this point.
Don't think they heard you, Darrell. Here comes Kyle to the inside.
Outside.
Well,
even.
Kyle Busch likes to make a statement pretty much every lap if he can.
Well, I think the biggest statement Kyle Busch is trying to make is get something in that win column for 2010. You go back to Phoenix a month ago, nothing was going to keep him from winning that race.
Caution's out.
Caution. Debris in the back straightaway puts us under caution for only the second time tonight.
And who does that benefit?
Well, the free pass, it benefits Jimmy Johnson, of course.
Jimmy Johnson. He was just barely.
Not bad. If I can get it to roll the center good.
Okay, that's Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was just barely lapped.
Are we coming?
Oh, yeah.
Well, how long have you been out there?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. 5 laps or 500 laps, you got to come.
10 laps, or 13 laps. Kyle Busch has 13 laps on those tires.
I think you'll see, with only 8 cars on the lead lap, you'll see the leaders come to pit road. But I think possibly what we will see is, since we only have 10 laps and that many cars a lap down, I think you'll see a lot of guys try to take advantage of that wave around, stay out on the racetrack.
Pit road is not yet open, and there are only 8 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, David Rudiman, Jamie McMurray, Juan Montoya, and Jeff Burton, and we will add Jimmy Johnson. He will get the free pass, so we'll have at least 9 cars in the lead lap when we restart. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by DirectTV. It'll change your life. Call 1-800-DirectTV. One lap down, there are 21 cars 1 lap down, all the way back to Tony Stewart in 29th place. So Kyle Busch is in. Not everybody's coming. Here's Jeff Gordon. Well, it takes a while to cycle back.
Right.
Yeah,
all those guys are a lap down that you saw that did not come to pit road. All 8 of those cars on the lead lap, it's a no-brainer. You come get you 4 tires.
And trust me, they were hoping that these guys pitted, or else they couldn't have taken the wave around.
That's right. Krista?
David Rudiman's coming in for 4 tires, but he said that every time the team has taken air out of the left sides, it has improved the car. Matt?
And the 18 of Kyle Busch slid through his pit box. He had to back up, losing a little bit of time. Now getting the left side tires on. Dave Rogers said so many cars a lap down, going to take advantage and make this very good race car even better. He wanted help from center to exit. Small chassis adjustment. Meanwhile, the 24 of Gordon, his stop complete. He said his car was really tight under braking and snappy loose off. Adjustment as well.
All right, many of the lap down cars will pit this time around, but some will stay out to take the wave around. We'll tell you who when we come back. As they gave the one, we're still under caution. It sounds like we're under green, because as they gave the 1 to go, everyone behind the pace car but in front of Kyle Busch took off and zoomed around the pace car to catch up the back end of the field. We had what must be a record 23 cars take the wave around, so that the race would restart with the leader, Kyle Busch, right behind the pace car.
Some of those were to get back on the lead lap. Some were to get one of multiple laps back.
Yeah, we had 9 cars on the lead lap before this caution. Now we have probably 30 or better.
27 cars on the lead lap all the way back to Tony Stewart. So this caution flag has breathed new life into about a third of the field.
Yeah, and they've only got 13 laps on their tires and fuel, so that's a great move by those cars to do that.
Well, and what they love is a quick caution. Then they can get even with the fresh tires on those other lead lap cars.
And again on this restart, here comes Boyer. The 33 started 4th, went to 3rd. He's got company, his teammate Harvick on the outside.
I'm going to tell you what.
Shot off a turn, too.
That 29 of Harvick definitely got through 1 and 2 and just rocketed off there on the back straightaway. You see all 3 of the Richard Childress cars right there. Harvick the 29, Boyer in the 33, and Jeff Burton in that 31.
It's a photograph right there.
Rudiman fighting back on the outside. Let's show you the 29, Kevin Harvick.
Gets up high here, and he can get back in the throttle.
Well, Boyer bottled him up in the 33.
33 was a little bit slow exiting corner. 29, Harvick he wasn't slow at all.
It is at the moment a 3-horse race. Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick appear to be the 3 strongest cars through most of these first 163 laps.
When I look at the lap times again, you got to Kyle Busch. He's got a 10th in the bank right now. 2 tenths that time by.
But I'm going to tell you what, Darrell and I were talking during a commercial break. It took him this long to get up to the top 5. That 31 car of Jeff Burton, he's going to be a player here just directly already in the top 5.
Time for a little Richmond short track Saturday night. Crank it up on Fox. Some of those drivers on more than worn tires starting to get a little skatey. Watch Keselowski in the 12, Allmendinger the 43.
Whoa, Nelly.
And once again, Darrell talked about that splitter right there on that left front tire of A.J. Allmendinger, the 43 car. Gets a little nervous.
And Jimmy Johnson coming back toward the front. He's up to 8th place. Not bad for a car that 20 laps ago had gone a lap down.
Well, I think they swung for the fence on those last adjustments on that last pit stop.
What I loved, I'm telling you, was that calm conversation over the radio. What do we need to do? And they did it.
Keep going, no caution.
Caution is out now.
Keep going. Caution.
Steve.
And Mike, just to follow up on what you guys were saying about the 48, they did in fact, to quote Chad Canals, take a big swing at the race car.
Thanks, Steve. Let me explain the audio you just heard. The teams monitor NASCAR as we do down in the Fox production truck. NASCAR was looking at a possible piece of debris on the back straightaway. Teams heard that relayed to their drivers, and that's why you heard no caution, keep going. Then NASCAR decided to put the caution out for this. I have no idea.
It's a water bottle that got smashed.
Was it? Oh, it was a water bottle.
It was.
Is it kind of like the hat that we destroyed last week?
Yeah, last week.
But what a game changer that caution was, because remember, we had a caution just roughly about 15 laps ago. We only had 8 or 9 cars on the lead lap. Now, because of the wave around, we have 27 cars on that lead lap.
Now that's a spring rubber right there.
Yep. Spring rubber there.
Yep.
Water bottle where?
Now water bottle's back down here. I think that's it way back there. But that spring rubber bouncing around, that thing has the potential to do some damage.
It comes down the hill, it does. Anyway, we're under caution.
And it's feeding time on pit road, Krista.
Yeah, they've been taking air out continually on David Rudimann's car. He said it made him too tight in the center on that last run. They were not going to come in this stop. They came in back on 155. They said we got to put some air back in this time. The first time they've done that all night. Matt.
And Jeff Burton, in the center of your screen, the last stop, they made a big air pressure change and also a track bar change. Going for another air pressure change on this stop as well. The Harvick car. The top of your screen, air pressure change 4 tires. Meanwhile, the 18 of Kyle Busch, wedge and track bar change for that car, and he will be beaten off pit road by the 39.
Brian Newman, first car off, 2 tires, gains him 10 positions. 172 laps complete in Richmond at the Crown Royal presents the Heath Calhoun 400.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
Ryan Newman has become the 4th different leader of the night in the U.S. Army Medicine Chevrolet, and he will lead this restart with Kyle Busch on the outside. Newman took 2 tires, the only car on the lead lap to do so.
Everyone else changed 4 tires that stop.
Wow, I wonder why Newman would have done that, Larry. Maybe reminiscent of Phoenix.
Here comes Gordon.
Even racing for the win.
Boy,
right
Jeff
now.
Gordon at 24 trying to make it 3 wide through 1 and 2 with Kyle Busch and the 18 on the high side.
They're going to make it.
Goodbye, Newman. Look at that 18 sail off in that corner.
Woo. But wide behind them, Rudeman comes out from between Kasey Kahne and McMurray.
But I think Jeff Gordon in that 24 is trying right now to say, I've got something I can race this 18 with, but Kyle Busch, the 18, gets the run on the high side. And Jeff Burton in that 31 is licking his chops because he says, boys, run side by side. I'm here now.
Boy, just amazing what a few cautions will do to tighten things up.
Gordon trying to show that he is a match for Kyle Busch.
Right there is where that 18 has got him covered, Larry. Comes up out of 2, under power, getting it.
But here comes Burton in the 31. He goes to the bottom, routes the 24 up the racetrack. He wants the 2nd spot.
It's the best track position Jeff Burton has had all night.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon saying, hey, where did he come from?
A little smoke off the 18 that time, getting into the corner.
Yeah, he's driving that thing in really, really hard. It's probably low air pressure, might be bottoming out a tire just a little bit. I don't think there's anything to worry about.
In fact, talking about Jeff Burton at 31, he just ran as well as Montoya in the 42, their fastest laps of this race. But their track is getting more and more grip. It's really cooled down. We're into the night now.
20 laps to halfway in Richmond.
If you're going to run your best laps, you better run them now while that 18's in sight.
Still see it.
He has a tendency to slip away from everybody.
And with the 2 quick cautions, we now have 30 cars on the lead lap.
Oh, we got some new players now.
Martin Truex free pass on that last restart.
There's Hamlin.
From Denny Hamlin, you're looking at Kasey Kahne up close and personal.
We're looking at everybody.
But yeah, looking at Kasey Kahne in that 9 car, sitting in the 10th spot. Wasn't that many laps ago, he went a lap down to Kyle Busch, the 18. Ryan Newman in that 39 definitely paying the price. I think they figured out that science project probably was not the way to go, but find out now, not late in the race.
Newman and Kahne fighting for 9th. McMurray and Harvick right behind them. And there was a bit of contact a lap ago between Newman and Kahne.
I think there may be more coming because they're really leaning on each other.
While they're leaning, there comes Kevin Harvick in that 29, as well as McMurray in the 1 and Edwards in the 99.
Kevin Harvick in the 29. He got boxed, Larry. They were like 2 and 3 wide in front of him. He couldn't go anywhere, and it cost him a bunch of spots.
Harvick alongside McMurray, and it's Newman that fills the high side, leaving the bottom open for Harvick. Here he comes in the 29.
Yeah, those 2 tires on Newman's car is going to really regret that.
See McMurray in the 1. He's been working the high side of the racetrack almost since about lap 15 or 20 of this race.
Watch the contact between Kahne, the red and white car, and the black car of Newman.
That's kind of classic turn 2 over there, Darrell.
Yeah, you need the whole racetrack to get up off that corner. Somebody's on your outside, you just have a hard time staying off of it.
Mark Martin into the back of David Reagan, just ever so lightly, coming off the same turn 2.
Well, and Mark Martin in the 5 was on the gas. David Reagan in the 6 had not picked it up yet.
All you got to do is pedal it just a little bit at the car in front of you, and you're going to run into him. Sometime you run over him.
Truex, who just got the free pass, battling Keselowski now that they're both on the lead lap for 19th.
Larry, those first 5 cars, 2305, 2308, 2309, 2303, they're all just right on top of each other.
And we've seen that most of the race. It's just Kyle Busch in the 18 stretches it out at the very beginning.
Carl Edwards had a chance to go 3 wide right up the middle on Newman and the one of McMurray, and fortunately he thought better of it. He'll try the inside instead. Carl sails it in on the bottom, going for 11th place.
I don't think that one car is all that happy, Larry. He's got to run that high line. Car's really, really loose looking when he gets it down low.
You can see how much Carl Edwards in the 99 just beat him right through the middle of the corner as he was running the low side.
Back up front, Kyle Busch putting on a clinic. He is just 0.6 of a second ahead of Jeff Burton, who is marking him lap for lap. We're getting close to halfway.
Calling all cars, we've got a high-speed chase in progress. Stay tuned for more NASCAR on Fox.
Two laps to halfway. There is the lead. Kyle Busch, and Dale Jr. is on pit road. He has a left rear tire down from contact with Paul Menard. Here's a look at the contact. Watch that yellow 98 into the side of Dale Earnhardt Jr., who had gotten loose in turn 1. That's how they got side by side. And then Bobby Labonte and Jr. get together.
Ooh, I think that might have been the damage right there.
You're right.
You saw the smoke fly.
Down goes the left rear, and Jr. comes pit side and falls off the lead lap. He is now back out 3 laps down. 200 laps halfway. Kyle Busch leads our Toyota top performers of the race, with Denny Hamlin 8th, David Rudiman running in 9th. Hamlin's about 7 seconds off the lead right now.
And Mike, the leader at halfway has won 1 out of the 9 races we've had, and the leader of the most laps has won 2 of the 9 races we've had.
So stay tuned. Things are going to change.
Yeah, don't get excited just yet.
One fellow who is excited is Kevin Harvick. On his pit stop, there was a problem on the left side of the car that cost them about 3 seconds. So Sprint brings you an inside listen to what's happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Here's Kevin Harvick.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. It's about 5 seconds to lose 7 spots. I mean, it'll take all night to pass everybody back. If you're going to make a mistake, you got to make a little one, because you can't make rookie mistakes. Look like a bunch of buffoons.
For more live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed.
Let's take a look at his pit stop numbers on this 29 car. And there you see that left side that Mike talked about 2 to 3 seconds. And when you look right here, there's the real difference. Most of these teams, include the 29, their other pit stops, they've been in the 12, 13, maybe close to 14-second range. You see right there, almost 17 seconds on that pit stop. You heard Kevin say it, 7 spots.
Well, he's gotten a couple back, Darrell, because he was running 3rd prior to these cautions, and now he's back at 6th place.
But what a contrast is that radio transmission we have between Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson. Calm, cool, collective. And then Kevin, who obviously is upset about the pit stop, a little bit different tone in that transmission.
Kevin owns his own truck team and Nationwide Series team. One day on the radio in a truck race at Atlanta, he fired them all. He said, come in Monday and pick up your pink slips. And then thought better of it.
Well, he's had his share of issues on pit road. He did win the Las Vegas Nationwide race, but it wasn't easy. He had to overcome a lot. And I don't think we've given Kevin enough credit that right now, he's not going to run the truck race tomorrow at Kansas, but he's in the top 5 in points in all 3 top series right now.
12th place, Kasey Kahne, Ryan Newman continue to go at it.
Believe it or not, they're having a lot of fun. It's fun to race with somebody you trust. Those 2 guys obviously trust each other.
Well, I think what we have a product of, they can't get away from each other. The 39 only has those 2 fresh tires. The 9 car has 4 fresh tires, but I don't think he has a very good race car.
No, he's struggled with that car ever since we got here.
his last lap about 2/10 off the lead, of a second off the leader. Now Dale Jr.'s on fresh tires, even though he's 3 laps down. And look at this group. They are fighting for the free pass position. Elliott Sadler, Bobby Labonte, the 71. Here comes Robbie Gordon, all battling to be the first car 1 lap down, which right now is David Gilliland, as Kyle Busch keeps mowing him down.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you get on these long green runs and you have a leader as good as Kyle Busch in that 18 car, who I might add has already secured the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, he just keeps putting more and more cars a lap down.
One thing I have to say, Larry, you know, we noted that the 31 car of Jeff Burton was really good on the long run, and he's starting to close in ever so slightly on Kyle Busch in the 18 car. You can see the difference there, and it's shrinking.
You know what is not shrinking is the amount of smoke that's coming out of the back of Kyle Busch's car. And Larry, it looks transitional in the middle of the corner and on acceleration.
Thank you too much out here. I need help. Center and exit. I can't roll the center like I used to, and I'm freer up off. If I get the center to turn, my exit's still free, so I want to work on exit, but I know I can't just hit that.
That smoke, the thing that bothers me, we see black smoke out of the 18 a lot on the short tracks, particularly Martinsville, for sure. That's a blue smoke. That's probably coming out of the engine, it looks to me like, which doesn't necessarily mean there's an engine problem, but I don't believe that's that normal black fuel smoke we see coming out of that car.
Matt?
And Mike, right before he made that long radio transmission about where the car was having issues, he asked his spotter, Jeff Dickerson, he says, I'm not as fast as I was the run before. I can't really tell where. Are you seeing something different from the spotter stand as to maybe why we're not quite as fast on this run? And Dickerson says, I can't see any difference.
One thing I am seeing is a lot of unburned fuel coming down that tailpipe. You saw it glowing red as it gets ignited by the heat of the pipe as he's trying to get back to the gas.
I think that jives with what he's describing. He's not rolling the center as well. He can't put the throttle down on the exit, so it's almost a part throttle, just burning that raw fuel in the exhaust pipe.
Don't like that blue smoke. Black smoke I'm okay with.
Kyle Busch continues to lead. Jeff Burton just half a second behind.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Chevy. Every model is backed by a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. By Lipitor. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
Boy, it's tightened up in Richmond. Kyle Busch trying to put Robbie Gordon a second lap down. Now he's got a mirror full of Jeff Burton, and Burton wants to lead.
I think Burton's going to get the position here. I don't know if he's going to be able to give it to him or he's going to take it. Kyle right here has got to use a little bit of a judgment call.
Well, they got past Gordon.
They got past that Robbie Gordon in the 7 car. Now let's see if Kyle Busch can get back out in front of Jeff Burton. He will down the front straightaway.
I think that Kyle was using really good judgment. Robbie was just desperately trying to keep him back there. Kyle didn't push it, but I'm telling you, boys, that blue smoke is trouble.
That is the closest anyone has come to passing Kyle Busch on the racetrack tonight. Was Jeff Burton in the 31 right there.
Now, it could be tire smoke. There could be a tire rubbing up in the fender, but that's not good.
Matt?
Nothing about the smoke, but he did, Kyle Busch, ask his spotter, Jeff Dickerson, how his rotors look compared to the 31 of Burton. Dickerson's response was, yours look pretty good. His are really glowing.
Well, and I think Kyle knows how much brake he's having to use, especially with the Hamlin not being as good on his race car as it was in the beginning. The worse your car drives, the more brake you're going to use.
Worst thing that happens to you is when you've been cruising like he's been doing, you see a lot of heat in that right front, Larry. You see that thing was really red. That's got to be tire smoke. It's got to be rubbing a tire somewhere to smoke that way every time. But all of a sudden, you've been pretty good, and all of a sudden here comes somebody and you say, whoa, I'm not as good as I thought it was.
And that somebody is South Boston, Virginia's Jeff Burton, who's gone 50 races without a trip to victory lane.
And Jeff Burton's one of those drivers that we talked about earlier that wants to win a race in the next 3 races to get in that all-star race. Burton goes through the middle of the corner better than the 18 of Kyle Busch right there, but Kyle Busch in the 18 gets off the corner better.
I think Burton's going to get him this time, Larry. That's a good run.
Close.
He's got a good run on him now.
Kyle Busch led that lap.
Burton should be able to should beat him off his corner. Let's see if he does. Not quite.
Plenty of room between the two. And Burton sails it off into turn 3 for the lead.
Enough of that.
While these guys have been doing this, that 24 car of Jeff Burton, not far back there. There you see him.
Jeff Burton led 28 laps at Talladega last week. This is the 7th race he has led in 2010. And those 28 laps at Talladega was the most anybody led last Sunday.
Well, he had the car last Sunday that was a great pusher as well as a great leader. So that he was good last week. Good tonight, boys.
So Burton up front. Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon. Let's go to Chris Myers for an AT&T race break.
Thanks, Mike, with Jeff Hamlin and a new leader, and Burton looking to make it 2 wins in a row for Richard Childress Racing, but can they hold off against Kyle Busch? Meanwhile, Larry McReynolds mentioned Jeff Gordon listening in moments ago before lap 200 on the radio. Jeff Gordon with his crew chief, Steve Letarte.
Man, I cannot tell you how bad this thing is. Well, when you say it's bad, what's it doing? Is it loose off? Is it tight in the middle? What part of it's bad? Plowing, and then I just have no drive off, and I'm loose under braking, getting into 1. 10-4.
So, Jeff, plowing, help us out with what exactly that means and what that may mean for the next pit stop for the 2014.
Well, the thing is right now, Chris, that's a tight situation. I haven't heard plowing in a long time. That's something I think Darrell Walter would say something about. And DW, tell us what tight really means.
Well, as you see, the car heads up toward the wall. He's going in the corner with the wheels turned hard left. See, watch our hands here. We got a lot of left. We're turning the wheels hard left, but the car will not turn. The front of the car is headed for the wall. That's when the car is plowing or pushing, or you just can't get it to go around the corner.
And exactly, Jeff, how do you correct a problem like plowing?
Well, I think the 2 things that came out of that was he was talking about he's still kind of loose under braking, getting in the corner, and then it's turning. It won't turn through the center. So really, Steve Letarte has got a decision to make. The only way he's going to be able to free that center up is maybe make the entrance to the corner a little bit different. Maybe adjust some brake out of it. I'm talking about front braking. Jeff Gordon can do that inside the car. Several things he can work on. But to me, a car that's that tight and still be running third can't be that bad.
Jeff Gordon has led laps in the last 5 races, and Kyle Busch, who's led more than 200 laps today. In the previous 4 times he's led more than 200 laps, he's won only once. That was last year in Bristol. If you want to text your AT&T fastest crew to 2238, and we'll measure yours against Jeff Hammond's, the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award, delivered by AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, and that is an AT&T race break. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Thanks, Chris. 28 cars on the lead lap. Burton, Kyle Busch, Gordon. But here's the man, Larry, who's coming.
I've been watching the monitor here, the scoring monitor, and he's still trying to overcome that bad pit stop that was back on lap 172. We've been about 60 to 65 laps, and his lap times definitely are a little better than Jeff Gordon's lap times consistently.
Richard Childress Racing, 3 of the top 5 cars, and all 3 of those drivers have won here. Jeff Burton, the leader, Kevin Harvick 4th, and Clint Boyer in the 33 in 5th.
Shaping up to be a really, really big night for Childress cars.
What a resurgence this season for Richard Childress Racing.
And it all started at the end of last year, especially with this 31 car. He moved Todd Berrier over there with about 4 or 5 races to go. They ended the season with top 2 finishes at the last 2 races. And Dick Berggren looks like we got a little ways to go, but they're trying hard to get that first win of 2010.
Yeah, they sure are, and Burton has got a very good car. He has recently adjusted the brakes, Larry, more brake to the front, despite how red those brakes were glowing. He said that he needs more grip off the corners, but going in is just right.
Yeah, Doc, once you get out front like that, just got to pass here. These 2 guys are struggling badly right now. Both those cars have really come on. The handles come off of both of them.
But Darrell, that's got to be a big lift for Jeff Gordon, because he has tried for 240 laps to get past Kyle Busch even once, and was finally just now able to do it.
And you know where it puts him? Second place.
But I think that tells us how bad that the 18 car is right now, because we know Jeff Gordon isn't very happy with his car with the audio that Jeff and Chris just played.
We said there'd be comers and goers all night. And right now, the man in command is Jeff Burton from South Boston.
It's not how good your car is, it's how good your car is compared to everybody else.
Jeff Burton's right now is very good.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
For the lead, Jeff Gordon gets underneath Jeff Burton. They had caught traffic. Burton could not lap Tony Stewart. Jeff Gordon caught Burton, and it's Gordon to the lead for the second time tonight.
And Steve Letarte, his crew chief's pulling his hair out right now. Do I work on this car, or do I leave it alone?
Well, like I said a little bit ago, how bad's your car now?
Meanwhile, the driver who led the entire first half of this race has a problem. Matt?
Mike, back on lap 245, Kyle said, I've got a problem, get ready, I may be coming. His spotter, Jeff Dickerson, was looking to see if he might have had a left rear tire going down. He says, it looks like it's up. He's still searching to find out what that problem may be. But the guys are up on the wall, ready in case he has to hit pit road.
Well, he's still running respectable lap times. Yeah, he's a couple of tenths off Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton. And the good news is we're about 15 laps from what will be green flag pit stops.
Yeah, but his idea
If I can get one.
His idea of respectable lap times, Larry, though, is half of a lap in front of the field.
Yes, where he was for the first half of this race.
I think I see where that spoke's coming from. It looks like that left rear is rubbing looks like the quarter panel's rubbing the tire every once in a while.
Jeff Gordon, our leader. Jeff Burton in second. Harvick now third. Kyle Busch fourth, and Clint Boyer fifth. Darrell, we've heard drivers, and we've talked a lot about brakes tonight and how you get around here and how much brake you can use.
Well, just watch the front of the cars when they go down the straightaway and get to the corner. You'll see the front of the car really dip down. That means the driver got hard on the brake. Where you use up your brakes here is getting into turn one more than you do turn three. You ride the brakes all the way down into the middle of the corner. That riding down into the middle of the corner right there with your foot still on the brake is what creates all that heat. You've only got a little 800-foot straightaway down the back to cool them off, and you're right back on them hard again right there. And you see the glowing red rotors. So the key to having good brakes at any racetrack is keep your big foot off of them.
Superior stopping power, not only crucial at Richmond, but on your own vehicle. Use some Napa know-how and get Napa Adaptive One brake pads. For info, go to adaptive1.com. You saw Martin Truex there running in ninth place, 7.8 seconds off the lead.
But that's pretty phenomenal when you think about it. The last caution, he was the car that got the free pass. He was all the way at the back of the field.
Oh, those wave arounds and those couple of cautions we had there where all these cars got back on the lead lap changed everything.
And that's a big difference from how great it was back in the day, Darrell. You can't just spank the field here.
2.5, 3 tenths a lap.
Kyle Busch lapped all but the next 7 cars. And once the caution started flying and drivers took the wave around, we're back to where we now have 25 cars on the lead lap.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle Busch in that 18, he is waiting to hear Dave Rogers say pit next time, because he's in jeopardy now of losing this 5th spot to Clint Boyer. He's in 4th right now. Boyer in the 33 is in 5th.
Matt?
Mike, in fact, Kyle Busch just came on the radio a lap and a half ago and said, Dave Rogers, can we come early, short pit early, to try to get some adjustments on this race car? Will it hurt us on fuel mileage, our fuel window? He goes, absolutely not. So they're looking at that as a possibility. Steve?
Had a few laps to go. Jimmy Johnson told Chad Canals, it feels like my car just fell off a cliff. He said, don't worry about it. Everybody's going through the same thing out here tonight. His car has also gotten tighter.
Larry, look at these lap times, Larry. I mean, Kyle Busch was running in the 23, 30s, and 40s. Right now, the pace is 24:20. That's how much the cars have slowed down. Cars have slowed down, and his has gotten worse at a slower speed.
So we're 2.5 seconds slower a lap than when we started the race. So everybody's car is awful.
That's it.
Compared to what they were used to when the green flag dropped at about 7:45 tonight.
And it should be quicker, but you know, I'm anxious to see if we get a late race caution with fresh tires. They put some air pressure in those tires. You'll probably see the pace go back.
The fastest car on the racetrack right now is Martin Truex in 9th place. He ran a 24 flat. Everybody else is in the 20s, 30s, 50s, and 60s.
If you look at the entire field almost, everybody's running in the 24-second bracket. From a 24 flat with the Truex, you know, over here to 24 60s and 70s for cars that are a lap down. So the whole field's going the same speed.
Now, we just saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 car drive by Jeff Gordon in 24. Remember, Dale Earnhardt Jr. made an unscheduled stop about 60 laps ago, had a flat tire, so now he's 2 laps down. He was 3 till he passed Gordon to lead.
Jeff Gordon leads by a second, and Jeff Burton about to have his hands full with his teammate Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch still able to hold off Jimmy Johnson. That's 4th and 5th.
And Dave Rogers, Kyle Busch's crew chief, I know the box he feels like he's in right now. He wants to get that car to pit road, but everybody's car's sliding around, and you know you're sitting right there on the verge of a caution coming out. You make a pit stop, the caution comes out, you're 2 or more laps down right there.
Yeah, you got to ride it out right now. You can't.
Here we go.
Come 5 laps early, but no more.
Here we go in that Keselowski's in, and A.J. Allmendinger. This begins the parade of cars to pit road on the lead lap. Steve.
Mike Brad Keselowski said, I just tried to make a good lap, but my tires are mad at me. 4 tires and a track bar adjustment for the guy who won the race last night.
Darrell, that's a great description.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to make your tires mad because they won't work at all for you. And it's easy to do when you're sliding around, using a lot of brake, building a lot of heat. That's what makes your tires mad.
Here comes Matt Kenseth onto pit road. Kenseth's had a bit of a disappointing night. He's been on and off the lead lap. He pits out of 21st position, and he'll go a lap down. Sam Hornish is also in, and Greg Biffle, whose fate tonight has been similar to Kenseth's.
This is a tricky pit road to get on. The entrance is almost right in the middle of turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's real short, and I mean, you just got to come down on the apron and almost stop and lock it up. We see everybody smoke the tires as they come to pit road.
Paul Menard also in as you watch service on Biffle's car. And here comes Jeff Gordon. The leader is on pit road. And now we should see everybody. Jimmy Johnson comes in behind him. Here comes Ryan Newman. Everybody else will probably be in the next lap or 2. Kasey Kahne is in as well. And McMurray. Steve?
And Mike, again, the predominant thing Jimmy Johnson fighting is tight. They make a chassis adjustment, and of course, 4 tires. Matt.
And Jeff Gordon's team felt like the track has just changed considerably, especially over this past run. Air pressure change. Steve Letarte said we really need to make a bigger swing, a little bit different change to try to get ready for this final stretch. Meanwhile, the 29 of Harvick is in, trying to get this car back up to where it was before balance-wise. Air pressure change for the 29. Dick.
Jeff Burton in right now. His biggest issue, brakes. He doesn't have the amount of brakes that he needs to properly get into the corner. Matt.
Bad angle for the 18 of Kyle Busch, but he is in. Air pressure change from Dave Rogers on this machine. He was absolutely spinning those tires off the corner, Krista.
David Rudiman, he's been loose in, bad in the center, and very loose off on this run.
Kevin Harvick led a lap, so did Carl Edwards. Steve?
Martin Truex Jr. has fought his way into the top 10. He says he thinks he can win. No changes. Matt.
Denny Hamlin, hometown favorite. His biggest issue, chassis adjustment already completed. The car, which is absolutely tight. Krista.
Carl Edwards said he needed a little air in the right front. Bob Osborne said, no, I can't do that. He wanted a round of wedge instead, so it's going to be a half round of bite for Carl Edwards on this stop.
That should pretty much cycle us through lead lap cars, but for Tony Stewart. Stewart's car was junk early in the race, and he led the last lap. And then we'll cycle back to Jeff Gordon after Stewart makes his stop.
When Osborne said he couldn't put the pound of air in the tire, he's looking at the buildup. He can't stand any more buildup in that right front.
Of course, what Tony Stewart would love to see, you see how bad he is right here on those tires. He'd love to catch a caution, and then he can make some of this ground up.
It's a great gamble at this point.
Lap 172, the last time Stewart was on pit road. We may see him this time. Watch the catch can there on, whoa, I need that.
And I mean, he got it out just in the nick of time, because if he'd have left that pit box completely with that catch can, that's leaving your pit box with equipment. That'd have been a penalty on that 48.
Now Larry Dale Jr. comes and pits. He was in not that long ago, so he's really short pitting here and getting back on sequence with everybody else, though he's 2 laps down.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue, 2 laps. Yeah, they could have gambled and tried to go a little bit here to see if they could catch the caution, but what they'd love to do is catch a caution now. They'd probably take advantage of that wave around like a lot of cars did earlier.
Yeah, here comes the 14 now on pit road, and you know, watching Kevin Harvick, he's chasing Jeff Gordon here. Kevin Harvick was right, Larry, when he said it's going to take about 60 laps to catch back up to the leaders, and now he's running in 2nd place after overcoming that bad stop he had earlier.
So Stewart surrenders the lead, and by the time he waited to pit, Matt, he'll probably go 2 laps down when he comes out.
Significant chassis adjustment. Dinner's cranking away on the wedge on his 14 machine. Smoke him on the radio mic and said to Darian Grubb, we are getting killed out here. We have to come and get fresh tires and make a big swing at it adjustment-wise.
During that sequence, Carl Edwards was one of the drivers who led. It's the first time Edwards has led a lap this year. Jeff Gordon out front.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Big racing fan? Get Verizon Championship Racing for race highlights, behind the scenes, and exclusive interviews right on your VCast phone. From the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon.
Jeff Gordon still leads by 1.8 seconds, as you see from our aerial coverage. To get the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirectTV. Kevin Harvick back. Jeff Burton 2.4 behind. Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, the top 5. Let's go downstairs for tonight's DirectTV Pit Whip. Dick Berggren.
And Kevin Harvick is matched up with Juan Pablo Montoya, Mike. Harvick won last week, started tonight in the 7th position, motored forward to 3rd. He's been pretty much running in the top 5 all night. Richmond, he says, fits his driving style. He likes this place, likes to run here. Finished every one of his 18 starts. He came into tonight's race 2nd in points. Montoya hasn't won since 2007, 101 starts ago. He started way back in 19th, but has been running in the top 10 for much of the last 100 laps. Montoya doesn't like this place. DNF, the 2nd of his 6 starts here, came in 20th in points. What they have in common, both use the front bumper when they need to. Steve.
Well, Dick, Mark Martin, believe it or not, making his 49th Richmond start here this evening. Now, they had a problem on lap 142. A lug nut fell off on a pit stop. Mark dropped from 8th all the way back to 24th, and they have not recovered. Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. said he knows we have to be a top 10 race car if we're going to make the chase. Just moments ago, he told his crew, I can win this race here tonight. And right now, Martin Truex Jr. inside the top 10.
Moments after climbing out of the car last week, Kurt Busch said beating my brother in DirectTV head-to-head is like a slam dunk at the end of a basketball game. But he knows being up against Virginia native Denny Hamlin at one of his best tracks is a tall order. Tall indeed. Right now, Kurt Busch is running 22nd. At the start of this race, he called his car junk and awful. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin started 30th. He has climbed all the way up into the top 10 here tonight. Matt?
An interesting and even matchup between Kasey Kahne and Clint Bowyer. Kahne running 14th, Bowyer in 6th. Both are former winners here at Richmond. Kasey Kahne, a great recovery earlier on the race when he was deep in the field. It looked like it wasn't going to be his night, but he has rebounded well. Meanwhile, Clint Bowyer, one of the best races he has seen all year, running in the top 10 most of the evening. As you can see him working the wheel hard. Both drivers, though, have been complaining about their cars being tight. Bowyer needed a little bit of an issue with helping the forward light off the corner, but both having solid nights here in Richmond.
Check on the status of your DirectTV head-to-head bracket. Visit directtv.com/NASCAR. Congratulations to DirectTV's John Ward, who earlier today married Kristen Scott, and a lot of new noise in the Oakham household. Congratulations to Matt, baby Madison, and mom doing just great, as Matt is a proud papa for the first time.
Yeah, we had a little party for him this afternoon. Gave him a cake, and congratulations, Maddie.
291 laps complete. Jeff Gordon is the man out front, and he's extended his lead over Kevin Harvick now to 2.1 seconds.
Yeah, Harv was closing there for a little while, but looks like Jeff's car is really a little bit better over the long haul here, and Harv's falling off a little bit.
You know, I was looking at some stats that I've got here, trying to compare Jeff Gordon's green flag stop to Kevin Harvick at the 29's green flag stop. Gordon came in a lap sooner than Harvick, so that means he got 1 lap advantage on those fresh tires. But as far as their time on pit road, their pit stop, they pretty much mirrored each other from the time they entered pit road until the time they exited.
Well, I don't know what Steve Letarte did to Jeff's car, Jeff Gordon, in a 24, but his lap times are much better now than everybody else.
Yeah, everybody's come down about half a second to 3/4 of a second from where they were as we watch the 6th place battle. Montoya taking 6th from Boyer.
That's interesting because, as we've said already, Montoya does not like this place all that much.
And what's interesting about Montoya being in 6th, we just did our DirectTV head-to-head battle. He's sitting up there in the top 10, but the man he's head-to-head against is running 2nd right now, Kevin Harvick.
105 laps to go. If we stay green, it's a one-stop race. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. 98 laps to go in Richmond. At least one more pit stop. Jeff Gordon over Harvick by 3 seconds. Jeff Burton another half-second back. There's your leader. There it comes. There's your 2nd place car, and 3rd, the black car of Jeff Burton. 4th will be Kyle Busch, 5th Jimmy Johnson, then Montoya, Truex, Hamlin. Darrell, it's making me dizzy.
That does. Yeah. Those cars coming at you like that really does. I tell you, Larry, Burton's fast. He's faster than our leader, and Kyle Busch is pretty good right now too. Those guys look like they might be closing down just a skosh.
Harvick about 3.4 off the lead. Where there is complaint, kind of nice when it ends in praise. Kevin Harvick had comments after the last pit stop for his crew, brought to you by Sprint, an inside look, and listen at what's happening now inside the Sprint Cup Series.
Up, guys. Way to rebound.
Drive it like you did the last time. It went. Hell, they'll be fine. Turn them off.
I like that. Now
I do too.
That's a much nicer tone.
For more live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed.
But as I heard that right there, think back to Jeff Hammond's checklist. Yeah, one of them was beware of the brakes, take care of the brakes, but the other one, encourage your crew. Not a bad thing to do, considering, Mike, like you mentioned, one more stop, possibly the end of this race.
Well, not a bad thing to do when you berated them the last time they were in up.
That's true. Here's a battle for 5th place. Steve?
Mike Juan Pablo has had the same problem all night, and they just can't get it fixed for him. He says, I just need more forward bite. I'm a little tight in the center. Please give me more forward bite.
Well, he beat Jimmy Johnson off the corner that time and took over 5th place.
Just remember, the forward bite is getting the rear wheels to hook up under acceleration. You're trying to put over 800 horsepower down with a fairly low gear, and it just wants to buzz those rear tires.
Yeah, well, you're trying to turn. You've got the wheels, front wheels turn left, and you're trying to go forward. And when the thing finally gets some grip on the front tires, it'll back end will jump up in the air, and the wheels will spin.
Now, one thing I'm noticing with this shot right here on Montoya's car is he's getting down on that flat, on that apron, and there's a little grip there. That'll help that car turn, too.
Yeah, it's what we call de-wedges the car. There's that transition right there, and you see he's always down on the apron. That little transition will unload the car a little bit and make it cut and get up off the corner better.
Riding with Montoya, who is 5th behind Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, and Kyle Busch. Back at 10th place, Carl Edwards led a couple of laps during the exchange of green flag pit stops. I was surprised to hear that's the first time he has led in 2010. But Krista, he's made a top 10 car out of this piece so far.
And Mike, a top 10 here would be huge for this team.
when I watch Carl Edwards, I always think about it. On dirt track, they really say this: get your elbows up, which means get up on the wheel. Watch Carl as he comes off turn 4 here. He gets his elbows up, and he is up on the wheel. Look at those arms up there. He's working that bad boy.
So Edwards is 10th. Ryan Newman is about a second and a half behind him in 11th.
And I know we beat Tony Gibson up, Ryan Newman's crew chief, maybe about that 2-tire change, and he did lose substantial spots, but he kind of settled in around 11th, and it gained them something because they went back to that far, but they never lost any more, and that's where they're running right now.
Side by side, Boyer and Hamlin, they're battling for 8th place. And Denny Hamlin's car looks as if it's as good, if not better, than it's been all night.
Oh boy,
Boyer tries to do the crossover move, that 33 car.
Yeah, but you got to give it to Hamlin. That car wasn't very good all early in the race. It's gotten a lot better.
Dick?
And Boyer's car isn't very good right now. He's got no forward fight, and if you talk to the crew chiefs, as I did before the start of the race, they said that is the key to winning here. The car is loose in and loose off, and just no grab on the back tires.
Matt.
Denny Hamlin running in the 8th spot. They have made huge improvements on this 11 car. It was a work in progress early. He just reported into Mike Ford. The car a little tight, but not bad.
But when I look at that 11 car, Denny Hamlin, I think we need to make sure and make the note that it's still only been about a month since he had that surgery on that left leg. And Darrell, he ran a 250-lap late model race Thursday night. We've talked about how much you have to use the brakes here. This has to be a physical challenge for him.
Well, like I said earlier on our opening, Larry, this place is mentally and physically tough on him. But I'm looking at his face right, looking at his eyes. He looks to be very comfortable in the car. He's not having to work the wheel much. I think he's fine, and the car has really come alive here in the last 100 laps.
Hamlin runs 8th, Carl Edwards 9th, Boyer 10th now. We showed you Newman at 11th. In 12th is the 47 of Marcus Ambrose. He's about 15 seconds off the lead. And in 13th, David Rudiman, who started this race on the front row and is now 16.5 seconds back. 14th is Matt Kenseth. He's about 5 seconds behind Rudiman. 21 off the lead. And right behind Kenseth comes Kasey Kahne in 15th position after starting 22nd tonight.
And right behind them comes the leader. So they better get going if they can.
Yeah, the other lead lap cars, Joey Logano in 16th. And Jamie McMurray. There's a look at Logano, who's just not been a factor tonight.
And looked awfully good in practice yesterday when the track was very warm. But all of these cars we're looking at, remember, they all went a lap down early in the race on that set of long green runs, and then they did the wave around on that second caution. And here's Jeff Gordon, our leader, zooming in on that McMurray in that one car. Jamie's in the 17th spot right now.
I tell you what, Larry, tonight is another 24 night. I mean, we saw this at Texas, we saw it at Vegas, we saw it at Martinsville. Surely he can close the deal tonight. I know, don't call him Shirley.
Well, we'll find out. 79 laps, Jeff Gordon leads. The Crown Royal presents the Heath Calhoun 400.
You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
.71 laps to go. Jeff Gordon continues to lead by 3.2 seconds. Here he comes right there, trying to lap Joey Logano. And behind him is Kasey Kahne, who was running 15th and on the lead lap when he just slid up and brushed the wall down in turn number 1. Kahne trying to stay on the lead lap way up high.
Whoa, man. But I don't think he ever touched it.
He did everything but touch it.
Got a little scrape on the side, but that may have come from somewhere else.
It took him about 2 laps to get all that rubber that he picked up on those hot tires. It took him about 2 laps to get that cleaned off.
You know, right here, we heard Martin Truex Jr. in the 56 car say, I got a car that can win this race. Yeah, you kind of say, okay, show me. He's showing me. He's racing with the Jimmy Johnson right here. And, you know, yesterday was my brother Michael's birthday. What a great present it'd be if Truex could, in fact, get up here and win this race.
Martin's best Richmond finish is 5th. That came here in the spring race 2 years ago. So we have 14 cars on the lead lap, Chris, and we're going to need one more pit stop. What are you and Jeff thinking as we wind this one down?
Well, more importantly, what is Steve Letarte, the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, thinking? Because you figure the amount of laps, and you have to wonder, with the up to 3 green-white checkers, and we had that last week, does that figure in? More than half of the races have gone the extra mile or into overdrive. In fact, let's check in with Matt Yoakum, who's with Jeff Gordon's crew chief.
Hey, Chris, we've heard crew chief say up and down pit road how this track has changed from the start till now. Stevie, do you think it's going to take one more swing change-wise for the final segment?
I really do. The Busch has been good all night, but not been great. We're still not great. We got good track position, and hopefully that'll be enough, but we'll have to see. I like to take a minute and say hello to my wife. She hasn't been feeling good this week. I'd like to let her know I'm thinking about her. Can't wait to get home tomorrow and see her.
All right, good luck the rest of the race.
Thanks.
Chris?
Let's check in quickly with Dick Berggren, who's with the crew chief of Jeff Burton.
And that's Todd Berrier. What is the strategy that you will use to win the race?
Well, Dick, you know, if the thing would go green to the end, it'd be pretty simple. We've just seen so many green, white checkers. It's really hard to play it out. But if we knew it was going to go green to the end, we'd be pitting right here with the next few laps. And that'd have us the best tires on the average for the last of this run. We're going to play it out here for the next 15, 20 laps, probably see where it falls out. But I'm still not sure this thing will go green. I'm sure we'll probably see 2 or 3 more cautions in the last 15 laps.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
All right, so a lot of noise, Jeff Hammond, for a crew chief to sort out. You and Larry McReynolds have been in the thick of this before. From what you've heard and what you think based on what we've seen.
Well, what we're trying to look at right now is what does Steve Letarte need to do to keep this 24 car up front. The key thing is when and if they're cautioned, you know you're going to get 4 tires. But if it goes the full cycle as far as green flag is concerned, he's going to stop with about 25 or 30 laps to go in the race. And you don't want to wind up waiting too long to come on pit road. You know, like a short stop in this thing, you know, would be what way you'd like to go. But Larry, you know, if you stop and all of a sudden the caution does come out, you're going to wind up losing this race because you're going to be a couple laps down.
But Jeff, here's what I'm looking at, and this is where I want your little bit of feedback here. I'm showing where most of these guys will have to pit for Sunoco race fuel 35, 40 laps to go. They were last on pit road around 265, 266. Todd Berrier just said it, Jeff. If we knew we were going to go green, we'd get in there and get our fresh tires earlier. I think that's what they're going to have to do if they want to try to beat that 24 car. They can't just follow him down pit road under green. They're going to have to get their tires early.
No, and I think he's in a position where he's got to force it. Darrell likes to talk about guys who like to gamble. We know Todd Berrier is a gambler, and right now running in 3rd position, he'll probably roll the dice and try to force Steve Letarte to do something maybe he doesn't want to do. You see he's already talking to his driver, his spotter. They're trying to come up with a game plan, and I think this is what's going to make so interesting the closing laps here at Richmond is who does what. We've seen it all night long. 4 tires on a race car can pick you up tremendously as far as lap times are concerned. So that's going to be the decision. 4 tires, 2 tires, or just gas and go.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon and the teammate drama with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy running 6th. So at the moment, nothing to fear for Jeff Gordon. You can text your AT&T pit crew, the fastest, to 2258. And David Rudeman, their total pit time for the entire race last week, the least of any team. Jeff ranking Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch as the teams here. And that is the latest from AT&T with 59 to go. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Larry, the only thing I'll say about y'all's strategy is you're on a short track. You know, if you're on a super speedway, short pit and coming in early, making everybody else do something I can kind of go for. But we still got too many good cars that are running same speed as the leader is to gamble on coming early and getting that caution and getting caught a lap or 2 down.
And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I believe you'll have some guys that try that. Pretty much the 24 car, he can do his own game because he has a 3.5 second lead. He can wait till some of them come to pit road.
Roger. Now we've got a new 2nd place car. Jeff Burton has passed his teammate Kevin Harvick. Jeff Gordon continues to lead by 3.3 seconds. Here is the pass for 2nd place. That just happened 3 laps ago. Might have been a little cooperation involved there.
Yeah, he gave it to him. That's good teamwork right there. That's kind of what Rick Hendrick wanted to see out of Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, work together. But Jeff Burton's car is really good on the long run. The longer they go, the better he gets.
56 laps to go. At least one pit stop, and maybe, as things have gone, overdrive. Don't move. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is delivered by UPS. Log on to ups.com/racing to enter the UPS $100,000 Trackside Challenge.
48 laps to go. Yes, what a beautiful sight from the DirectTV blimp. They're bringing you our aerial coverage tonight. To get the most sports in HD, call 1-800-DirectTV. You see a little activity on pit road. Tony Stewart has been in. Jamie McMurray has made his final pit stop of the night if we stay green, and now Greg Biffle is on pit road. No takers yet among the top 15, led by Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, Harvick, Montoya, and Busch. This race is for 9th place. Clint Boyer, Jimmy Johnson.
Pretty good tire combination we got here, Larry. I mean, these things are fast when they're brand new, but they don't fall off to junk anyway.
Same tire combination we ran at Phoenix. Now here's a couple of cars. We've talked about Denny Hamlin in that 11 car that's right in front of Clint Boyer in the 33. Denny is sitting there in the 8th position, but a car we've only mentioned a couple of times is that 47 car of Marcos Ambrose, started back in the 20th position. His car looks like it's really good on the long run.
Yeah, you got to all three of Michael's cars. The MWR cars are running pretty good. 6th, 7th, and 12th.
I think it's interesting too that Ambrose is a road racer. That's his background. Montoya, of course, and they're running 4th and 7th. Maybe that trail braking technique may have a little something to do with it. I don't know, but certainly they approach these racetracks just a little bit differently than the fellows who grew up oval racing.
I think they're approaching 2010 different now, because they had a meeting this past week talking about Marcos Ambrose. They felt like maybe either A, they were expecting too much, or maybe they were trying too hard. So I think a little different approach.
Yeah, we've seen him be awfully aggressive at the number of races we've been to this year. But again, following up on the road race guys, they just have a technique of they just don't use that much brake. They know how to get in the corner without using a lot of brake.
Now that's a battle for another position with what somewhat is his teammate Martin Truex Jr. We're riding with him in the 56 car. That puts Ambrose in the 47 to 6th spot.
Yeah, he's chased down the Truex in the 56 and passed him, and it looks like he's pulling away.
We have been green since lap 177. The longest stretch of green flag racing in the Sprint Cup Series since Bristol in 2004, and that may be it right there. Logano contact with Kahne. Nope, no caution.
Well, that was Kevin Harvick and all those guys. 4 of them, the 20 car of Logano, and all of them went down in the corner there, and I didn't think they were going to come out the other side, but they made it. Watch this.
3 wide with Harvick. Ooh.
Kasey Kahne in the 9 just got loose and right up into Joey Logano. But Darrell, I think this supports your thinking about not short pitting. You know we're just sitting there on the verge of a caution right now.
These guys are on these older tires, and if you come to pit road right now, I've been bitten about 1 million times, there'll be a caution.
Paul Menard being black flagged. He had just made a pit stop and left missing a left front lug nut. So Menard will make a penalty stop.
And I'm going to tell you what, he stopped right in front of Clint Boyer in that 33 car. I'm not sure if Boyer was trying to get pit road or not, but Matt, Denny Hamlin is on pit road.
And Denny Hamlin's crew up on the wall waiting for that FedEx Toyota. The car has gotten progressively tighter over that run. They're up on the wall waiting. Mike Ford's call, look for a chassis adjustment in the back window of the car. On the left rear. Good rebound for this team, though, from earlier on in the race. Scott Wood puts in that Sunoco race fuel, and he's away, Dick.
Here comes Clint Boyer on the way down pit road. They have some major chassis adjustments to make if Clint Boyer is to win this race. He had been running in the 9th position. Steve.
All right, Kyle Busch is in. Here comes Martin Truex. Here comes Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, David Rudiman. Pit road's open, and it's filling up fast. Matt.
The overall balance for Kyle Busch, he said the car had just progressively gotten tighter in the center at first, and then it really got loose off. Comes to a stop, gets the tear off, you can see. big adjustment on the left side. Krista.
They had planned to tighten Carl's car up immensely, almost 2 rounds of wedge, but Carl at the last minute said, I don't need anything, just 4 tires, Matt.
And Jeff Gordon trying to notch another Richmond win. Has had good success here in the past, and he had a rough stretch for a few years, but boy, what a night they have had. Steve Letarte calling him to pit road, trying to put a period on what's been a great run tonight. The car comes to a stop. Today.
Strategy, pit when the leader pit. They were uncertain as to what lap. They just decided to follow Jeff Gordon in. We have just about cycled through these green flag stops now with about 35 laps to go.
Harvick led that last lap prior to his stop. And Jeff Gordon surrendered the lead. He and Burton coming on pit road at the same time.
That would have been my strategy. Do what the leader does. That way, you know, you're on equal terms with him.
So now everyone's made their last stop if we stay green. And it cycles out with Jeff Gordon now enjoying a 2.6-second lead over Jeff Burton. With Harvick another 2 seconds back. Kyle Busch 5 more behind. Montoya, Hamlin, Truex, Ambrose, Edwards, and Boyer. Mark Martin too fast exiting. Pass-through penalty for Mark.
Mark's had a rough night. Nothing's going right for him tonight.
But it's very rare you see Mark Martin at a pit road speeding.
Mark is in 26th, 1 lap down. The pass-through will likely cost him another lap.
I tell you what, he may have lucked out because we've got a car spinning down the front straightaway. Elliott Sadler.
He just, I think I heard a tire blow.
Dig. Leader's 24, he's got it right behind you, right behind you.
Right rear is down on Sadler's car, so's the left.
That's a huge break for Mark Martin, though, because he had not come to pit road to serve that pass-through penalty just yet.
They're all down.
I think.
Elliott Sadler's car.
I think you'll hear I heard something that sounded like exploded, like the right rear might have blown out. Yeah, you see there, he just starts around. I'm thinking he had a tire down.
So Sadler will
tires are flat, guys, both of them.
Try to get back to pit road under his own power and may or may not make it. Now watch Logano and Kahne, the 20 and the 9 right here. A little more contact.
Yeah, I don't think that Kasey Kahne in the old Bud car there was very happy with Home Depot. But you can hear the 9 car. His rear tires are spinning big time up off the corner.
Trying to get to that 20 car.
Larry, we were just on pit road 4 laps ago. What do you do?
Well, I think we're going to see all kinds of strategy here because, yeah, when you look at Jeff Gordon, when you look at Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, they only ran about 3 or 4 laps before that caution came out. I think we'll see some guys stay out. I think we'll see a lot of guys maybe at the back of the lead lap cars come to pit road.
Jeff Hammond, what do you think?
Well, sitting here looking at it, I'm like Larry. I think the front 4 or 5 guys, they may think about staying out just to hold that track position. But if I'm maybe Denny Hamlin all the way back through Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson, I'm definitely going to come get me 4 tires.
So that means from 6th or so on back, that's where Hamlin is.
I'm definitely staying out. I mean, I just in the pits.
Okay. Elliott Sadler's going to need the wrecker. And Brad Keselowski gets the free pass. If you like action, wait till next Saturday night in Darlington, South Carolina.
NASCAR on Fox, 7 p.m. Eastern, next Saturday night.
Well, the good thing, Mike, all of these crew chiefs like Steve Letarte and Todd Berrier and Gil Martin,
they have a little extra time to think about it here because pit road is still closed because the 19 car is sitting there just at the entrance of pit road.
So pit road is still closed for at least another lap or 2 as they try to hook up Elliott Sadler's car and carry it to the pit or garage without further damage. All 4 tires were down, and he was able to get that far and no further.
But I'm like Darrell, and I think Jeff Hammond kind of supported it. If you're up there in those top 5 or 6 with, you didn't get the air pressure built up in your tires. But I think those guys that's on back in the lead lap cars, good opportunity to make more adjustments on your car.
16 lead lap cars when we restart, including Brad Keselowski, who gets the free pass. Jeff Gordon has come oh so close to winning. Look at Las Vegas. He led 219 laps, wound up 3rd. Martinsville lost it on the green-white checker when he and Matt Kenseth got together. Phoenix, he led 3 laps and ended up 2nd. And Texas, he was the dominant car and wound up 31st. So there's coulda, woulda, mighta, and shoulda.
And he had a great car at Talladega last week. You know, he was just trying to play his cards right and get to the end of that thing, and ended up getting into a crash.
And that crash was caused by Jimmy Johnson, who was moving to the inside to pick up that draft. And Johnson admitted Monday he misjudged the closing rate of the pack that Jeff Gordon was leading, and that's what led to Gordon falling back and ending up getting wrecked. Johnson took the responsibility. They've talked with Rick Hendrick, and Darrell, you talked to Rick this week about the not quite feud between his 2-star drivers.
Yeah, you know, Rick doesn't get upset very often. He's a pretty calm guy, but when he puts his foot down and he says, boys, enough, I don't want to see you 2 guys anywhere near each other for the next few weeks, he was serious.
And I talked to Chad Canals, crew chief for Jimmy Johnson, and Chad told me, he said, you know what has led us to all this success, all these wins and championships with these 2 teams that are housed together, is working together as drivers, crew chiefs, and the teams as well.
Now pit road will be open next time. They have moved Elliott Sadler's car to his pit, and only just now have they been able to lever it into a position to get the jack under it to change those 4 flat tires. The good news for Sadler, his infant son Wyatt has made it home. Wyatt's been a few weeks in the hospital after being born, but now everything is fine, and the Sadlers are very happy to have him home.
Yes, sir. And I think if you look at that graphic right there, that's more of the frustration of the 24 car and Jeff Gordon. Look at the laps led, and then look how many wins. And as we're seeing most of the guys at the front, Kyle Busch, the 18 car, seems to be the first car to hit pit road.
Denny Hamlin comes with him. Now Hamlin was the 6th place car. Here comes from 6th on back. Truex is in. Ambrose to pit road. Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer, David Rudiman, along with Allmendinger and Kenseth. Steve?
And Mike, Jimmy Johnson saying that his car was finally turning better in the middle. They'll take 4 tires. Matt?
And Denny Hamlin was coming regardless of what all the leaders did. They felt like they needed at least 1 more adjustment. It's been completed on the 11. And remember, the 18 of Kyle Busch, he's in as well. He remembers what took place last night when he stayed out while others took 4 tires at the end of the nationwide race.
So most of the drivers, maybe all of them, from 6th on back did come in.
Exactly as we predicted.
We'll see how it turns out. 27 laps to go. So who's going to win the Heath Calhoun 400? Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, Juan Montoya, Ryan Newman. That's your front 5. And after that, the cars that pitted: Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer, Marcus Ambrose.
Got a coin?
Flip it. Here we go for the restart with 23 laps to go. Green flag.
Didn't get off the corner that good. You saw Harvick in that 29 make a pretty good run.
Kyle Busch, the 18, the first car on new tires.
He and his teammate Hamlin's car is really, really stout too. It's coming up through there.
You see Montoya in that 42 car fighting to the outside of Kyle Busch, a battle for 4th. They get together, beating and banging through 1 and 2.
That gave Kyle nowhere to go against Kevin Harvick.
That 24, though, Larry, he rockets off that second turn. That's his big, big advantage.
Boy, race them hard.
Darrell, looks like Jeff Gordon's best hope is to get far enough out front so that Kyle Busch is forward. Oh, turn 2, trouble. It is David Reagan around.
We didn't hit anything. Start it up, let's go.
And we're back under yellow.
Mike, what I see with the 24 car, he's doing a masterful job. He's floating it in. Not a lot of brake. They gain on him getting in the corner, but man, does he get it turned and accelerate up out of that hole.
He lets that thing free roll through the middle, but when he nails it, he's off.
Coasting through the middle of the corner with a lot of speed, I might add.
Reagan's spin, a break for Joey Logano. He gets the free pass. And when we restart, there will be 17 on the lead lap. There was contact. You see Reagan.
Yeah, he gets into
on the outside.
I think he got into the 77 car. Sam Hornish
shoved him around there. Taco Bell. David Gilliland.
Yeah. But he didn't hit anything.
From Mark Martin, who restarted tail end because he did not serve that penalty under green. He served it under caution by starting out back.
Regan Smith in that 78 car just squeezed through. Now we've got a few of those lead lap cars back on pit road, like Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Steve, back on there.
Larry, Jimmy Johnson said that he's free in. They're going to drop the Panhard bar and give him 4 tires for what could be a final run to the checkers.
Clint Boyer and A.J. Allmendinger are also in. Elliott Sadler and the 77 of Hornish. Dick?
Well, Boyer's going to take one more swing at this, try to get that chassis right. They had the wrench in the back window on the last stop, and this one as well, trying to adjust the chassis.
All I can say is, if Jeff Gordon, unless he makes a mistake, I don't see anybody beating him.
And we have a new scenario with 19 laps to go in Richmond.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. By Subway Restaurants. Enjoy so many $5 footlong subs all day, every day, only at Subway. And by the new film Iron Man 2, Friday, May 7th, rated PG-13.
Under caution with 18 laps to go. It's a hot time in the old capital of the Confederacy tonight.
I think somebody set their hair on fire.
Well, you can leave me out of that one.
Well, I figured it was I think it's a crew chief.
There is Heath Calhoun, retired Army Staff Sergeant from the 101st Airborne. Injured in Iraq, and he has made himself quite a recovery. Went Paralympic skiing recently. In competition.
Sweet.
There is the trophy. Nice of Crown Royal to name the race for one of our servicemen, and Heath and his wife and his grandfather, 90 years old, from Blunteville, Tennessee. They've had quite a weekend.
Yeah, his grandfather
here at Richmond.
Sweet guy, his grandfather. He gave me a big hug. And
he is a DW fan.
He grew up right there, 3 miles from the Bristol racetrack. He said, "I've been watching you a long time, DW."
We're proud of his service, and for all of those who work so hard to protect the freedom of America and like-minded folks around the world.
We asked him what this meant to him, having this race named after him. He said, you know what, there's no way words can even put it in perspective.
For all your NASCAR news, Monday through Thursday on Speed, head into the garage for the NASCAR Race Hub as we talk with drivers, owners, and crew chiefs about your favorite sport. Only on Speed. Check local listings. Day and time in your area. Jeff Gordon riding a 38 race winless streak for Jeff Burton, who lines up alongside. It's been 50 races since he's been to victory lane, both in Chevys. Gordon for Hendrick Motorsports, Jeff Burton for Richard Childress, the senior member of both teams, both trying to battle it out. I'd hate to have to pick a winner, because either one of these, it'd be just about the biggest smile in Virginia if either one of these could make it to victory lane tonight.
But just think about the guys behind him. Kevin Harvick trying to make it 2 in a row. Montoya hadn't won in almost 3 years. Kyle Busch, he led this race for 221 laps, and you got Martin Truex Jr. in a 56 car, a long winless streak.
Larry, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex and Carl Edwards, their tires are 9 laps fresher than the 4 guys in front of them. How much does that mean?
Well, I think with these tires being able to get cooled down on these guys, that's going to help them.
Let's find out. 15 laps to go. Jeff Gordon hauls him 3 wide, second place, turn 1.
That's going to get a little interesting right there.
Burton has to give.
But Kyle Busch in the 18 car knew he needed to do it and do it early and get by those Childress cars. Can he win the battle into turn 3?
I think that 29 car is the better of the two.
Harvick will prevail in that 29.
I think Harvick could. I think he might have something for Gordon.
Jeff Gordon better run, and he better hide if he's going to win the Heath Calhoun 400.
Right there, Jeff Gordon is just awesome off that corner. Look at that gap he puts on the 29.
Boy, Kevin Harvick in that 29, though, he drove her down into turn 3, and he's still able to get off the corner and beat Kyle Busch.
I think Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick in the 29, they need to decide something here real quick, or Jeff Gordon's going to leave them in the dust.
Well, Harvick's not going to lay over, but here comes Busch on the inside.
Both those guys are saying, come on, man, cut me some slack. I think I can get up here if you'll leave me alone.
Well, Harvick gave Kyle a lot of room into turn 3.
But with 13 to go, with these guys going side by side, what Jeff Gordon is hearing from his spotter and crew chief, pulling away.
Magic words, man. Look at
Harvick's coming back.
Harvick and Busch, they were wearing each other out, and Jeff Gordon is loving it.
We're going to have a battle for 4th right behind these guys, and the caution is out with 12 to go.
A car is spun. Sam Hornish down the back straightaway.
Heavy front damage.
Now, let me tell you something. That 18 car can restart better than anybody out there right now. This could be a bad sign for Jeff Gordon.
Here's what happens to Sam Hornish in the 77 in the back straightaway. He and Joey Logano got together.
Boy, that was a hard lick on the inside wall there.
Sam's put the window net down. He is okay.
That is a hard lick on the end of that wall right there. Boy, almost car jumped up in the air. Heavy impact.
His teammate Kurt Busch will get the free pass on this, the 6th caution of the night. And the former Indy winner from Defiance, Ohio, climbs out 10 laps short of the finish.
Just remember back to Phoenix. Jeff Gordon leading the race, spun the tires on a restart. Ryan Newman was able to win the race. I know he's thinking about that, and he better be.
Martinsville, same song, almost second verse, when he and Matt Kenseth got together, battling for the lead on that last restart.
When you look at our first 9 races, this has been the game changer almost every one of those races. A caution coming within the last 10 to 15 laps.
Pit road's open. Probably no takers among that front half dozen. 17 cars on the lead lap, and here comes Montoya along with the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Matt Kenseth made a lot of gains. He is coming. Boyer's in, Rudeman, and Keselowski. Steve?
Mike, on the last restart, Juan Pablo said he got too loose, apologized to the team. Brian Patty said, bring it in, let's put 4 tires on it, no other adjustments. Matt.
And Denny Hamlin brings his Toyota back to pit road. Going to go for tires once again on the FedEx Camry. Dick, what's on the 33?
33, Boyer back in again, still trying to get that car fast enough to pass some more people before this race ends, and that's going to happen soon.
9 laps from the finish.
This restart is going to make the difference in this race. Jeff Gordon nails it. He's got it.
So now we've heat cycled those new tires twice. They're probably pretty even up.
Yeah, I think as far as all of our cars at the front, that you can pretty much say they have equal tire zone right now.
Getting ready for this, what could be the final restart. Chris?
Yeah, you just never know, considering 5 of the 9 races this year have gone beyond regulation. Just a quick recap. Well, that was our 6th caution. This was the first one here as a problem from Joe Nemechek, and that was out of turn 2 where a lot of cars were brushing the wall early. During the pit stops, Jimmy Johnson pit problem.
Yeah, you see right here on the right rear, they had a problem with the right rear lug nut. But then also later on, you know, they had some more problems on pit road. But battling for position right here, you see a great battle between the 18 and the 24.
Kyle Busch leading 221 laps, and that's where we are now with Jeff Gordon in front of Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. going a few laps down.
Yeah, he gets together here with the 98 car. Paul Menard, eventually it cut his left rear tire down. He had to go to pit road, and he still continues to be 3 laps down in 32nd.
So 8 leaders, 11 different lead changes, and updating the summary so far. And again, you can go up to 3 of the green-white checkers, and Kyle Busch once again dominating. In the past, at least 3 out of the last 4 where he's dominated, he has not won the race. But Jeff Gordon trying to win and tie Cale Yarborough for 5th all-time, his 83rd career race.
Yeah, he's going to have his hands full. I think Darrell summed it all up. This restart is going to be the key. You take a look at what's been going on during these restarts, getting the right position. He's got great jumps so far, Chris, but the other thing I think is working for him is these laps are winding down. So he's only got to hang on to, you know, maybe 4 or 5 laps if they get ready to go back green.
And we were listening in on the radio to Jeff Gordon talking to his crew, talking about the double file restart, about what the best position is. Some uncertainty there. They want to iron that out. Let's check in with Dick Bergman.
And Jeff Burton has been on the radio as well, Chris, and he has told his crew to explain to Kevin Harvick, his teammate, run real low, and Burton will stick with him. He wants to avoid a 3 wide on this restart. Mike.
Thanks, Dick. Those are your front 4, 2 Childress cars chasing that battle between Jeff Gordon and Kyle Busch. If you're Jeff Gordon, Darrell, what do you need to do on this restart?
Get those tires cleaned up. But the other thing he's got to figure out is, I guess he'll start on the inside because he doesn't want to give up that inside. But Kyle Busch is going to be so fast around the outside. It's going to be a real big race here on this restart.
He's going to be between a rock and a hard place, being Kyle Busch, and you better believe, I know Jeff Burton's telling Kevin Harvick not to make it 3 wide. I promise you, he'll make it 3 wide going into 1.
3, 4, whatever it takes. Here we go. We started off with all these guys bunched up together. We're going to end up with them bunched up together.
Now 18 cars on the lead lap with the addition of Kurt Busch, who got the free pass. We're still in regulation. We're not yet in overdrive. 6 laps to go. It'll be 5 to go when they take the green.
Now what Kyle Busch has to be careful of, he cannot beat that 24 to the line. He has 24, has to get there first.
But I think Kevin Harvick knows his only shot will beat him getting into turn 1 on the bottom if he can possibly get there.
Kevin's only shot is to hit Jeff Gordon in the back end, knock him into Kyle Busch, and drive by both of them.
Green flag.
Great restart. Watch that 18 as he goes down in the first turn.
Everybody wants the bottom.
But Gordon shuts the door on him. Let's see what kind of run Kyle Busch can get off turn 2.
Here he goes.
Side by side.
Here he goes. That's exactly what I was afraid of. I'm not so sure if I'd have been Jeff Gordon, I wouldn't have tried that outside to kept that right there from happening.
And he's going to clear him. 5 laps to go.
Look out. I don't know if Kyle Busch can hold Jeff off. He is so good off of this corner right here. Jeff's going to get a run back on him, I think.
There's still a lot of 3 wide in the pack, but the front half doesn't sort out.
Oh, guess what?
Busch, Gordon, Harvick looking low on Jeff Gordon for 2nd. Then Burton, then Carl Edwards up for 5th.
I'm pretty sure we're not done wrecking yet from what I'm seeing behind these guys.
No, because they're 3 and 4 wide back there, and actually it's now 3 laps to go, and Kyle Busch is loving watching those 2 guys go side by side.
By 3.5.
There's that 24 that time got off in turn 2 like he had been all night long, but it may be too little too late.
It all sorts out, and we may finish this one in regulation. 2 laps to go.
All we got to do is make it around one more time.
If the leader sees the white flag under green, the next flag, that'll do it.
Here comes Harvick back up under alongside of Jeff Gordon going into turn 3. We're coming to the white.
Gordon gets a good drive off the top of the corner.
White flag's in the air.
Kyle Busch gets the white flag. It's his race to lose, and the fight is for 2nd and for 5th.
And for 9th and for 10th.
These guys are going to be side by side. It looks like all the way back to the start-finish line. Gordon actually clears him here. Goes Harvick again.
I am so proud of you.
That's Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch wins the Heath Calhoun 400. Gordon, Harvick, Burton, Edwards, Montoya, Truex, and
Jimmy Johnson wrecks. Clint Boyer wrecks coming across the line.
They're wrecking more.
That's Robbie Gordon. He didn't really wreck. He just spun it out.
Wow. I knew that restart. I knew that cat right there that won the race had something for him on that restart. He does it all the time.
Kyle Busch wins his 2nd straight Richmond race for Joe Gibbs Racing. In the spring, that is. It's only his 3rd victory from the pole. He's won 6 poles in Sprint Cup racing. First win in 22 races for Kyle, and for Jeff Gordon, another wondering of what might have been.
And it's a sweep for Kyle Busch. Won last night, won tonight.
Just like last year. No, excuse me, Keselowski won last night.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. He didn't win last night.
Here's the restart, Darrell.
Yeah, this is where I was kind of wondering if Jeff Gordon shouldn't have taken the outside, because right here is where Kyle Busch is so bad fast. Sails it down into there. Looked like he was going to, if Jeff could have cleared him right there, I believe it was Jeff's race, but couldn't do it.
It's almost like Gordon jumped back to the throttle a little too soon
quick.
and had to get back out.
Yep.
And now coming across the start-finish line, back where
this is Clint Boyer and Jimmy Johnson. They get sideways coming off of turn 4, coming to the line.
That was for 10th place.
I think some other guys get run into back here. Yeah, Robbie Gordon got run over in the 7 car. Wow. I tell you, these finishes are unbelievable, guys.
This right here was a battle for 6 with Montoya in the 42, Truex in the 56, and Newman in the 39.
Kyle Busch salutes the fans.
That's the first time in 2010 the pole sitter has won the race, and Dave Rogers' first win as a Cup crew chief for Kyle.
That's going to be big for Dave Rogers there. He needed that a lot.
This is the 6th win at Richmond for Joe Gibbs Racing, and the 3rd straight win here for Toyota, as Kyle gets his first checkered flag in 22 races. Bristol last August is his most recent win. He led 221 of the first 229 laps and led the last 5 circuits. Wild Thing wins in Richmond. We'll be right back.
Promotional considerations provided by
unbelievable job, guys. Thank you so much. Good work, boys.
7 times now in the last 8 Richmond races, the driver who led with 10 to go does not drive into victory lane. That driver was Jeff Gordon. Victory lane is occupied by Kyle Busch. Dick Bergman's with him.
Great job tonight. Jeff Gordon had been so strong on restarts, and finally somebody beat him. How'd you do it?
I don't know, man. Dave Rogers. I can't thank Dave enough. You know, it's just unbelievable to be back in victory lane. You know, a lot of people doubted what we were doing, but I never did. You know, I got to say thanks to M&M's, of course. You know, all these guys that do so much work on this team. Interstate Batteries, Doosan, Food Lion. Man, Toyota, Marquis Jets, NOS Energy Drink, Gillette. Of course, Sprint also, you know, and I want to thank the fans too. You know, birthday weekend, always great to have all their support here.
Going back to the restart, how'd you do it?
I don't know. I don't even remember what happened. Where was I? I was on the outside?
Yep.
I just drove it down into turn 1 and hope it stuck. I drove it too far. And I got it pointed just in time and had a major drive up off the corner. And they knew I needed to baby it into turn 3 and try to get a good launch off of turn 4 as well. And finally got to clear Jeff and got down to the bottom and, you know, set sail from there. Those guys got racing. It's the best thing when you get out front, you see the guys behind you racing and let you lead out there. But can't thank M&M's enough. They've been behind me so much, and they're on my truck program. So it's now on the truck boys to go after one tomorrow in Kansas.
Now, this is quite a way to give yourself a birthday present. Tomorrow is your birthday.
Yeah, it is. So we did it last year on my birthday. This year we got a birthday present early. So, you know, we had a great race last night. We wound up 4th. So, you know, it's always nice to come to Richmond. I love coming here and appreciate Heath, Calhoun, and the guys from Crown Royal, too. You know, that's pretty special for him to be here tonight. And again, thanks, Sprint, for the awesome series and the support.
Indeed. Congratulations to you. Mike Joy.
That's the thing, Dick, about the last 10 laps at Richmond, Darrell. It's like that proverbial box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, like I said, you got a coin, you might as well flip a coin because it's really hard to predict. But I did feel like that restart was going to be so crucial, and I did believe that Kyle Busch had the best car on the restart. He had the outside, all that momentum. he just carried it around Jeff Gordon, and away he went.
And you saw the shot of Dave Rogers there, and Darrell and I talked about him. You know, here's a guy that took that 18 car with about 4 or 5 races to go the end of last year, a team that had won 12 races in 2008 and 2009. He's been beat up physically and mentally. He made the calls on that car when that car got off in the middle of the race to make it better, made the call to leave him out there at the end, and they go to victory lane. There's nothing like the first win as a crew chief, I promise you.
A moment ago, Matt Yoakum caught up with second place Jeff Gordon.
What a night for Jeff Gordon. The difference on the restart, was it more lane choice or older tires?
It was 18. He was so strong on restarts all night. I don't know what happened to him that one run where he fell back, but you know, he was head and shoulders above everybody on restarts, and we just we were good on the long runs, you know, and we got a couple of decent restarts there, and you know, Burton and Harvick got to racing one another, and it allowed us to get out there and get some clean air. But that last restart, I got a good one, but Kyle got a good one as well, and I was just too loose to really get going, and he drove a heck of a race, so settled for second. Great effort again by DuPont Chevrolet. We're going to have to figure out how to win these ones on these late cautions. You know, that's just not where we're strong right now, but you know, it's something that we'll continue to get better at as the season goes on. Certainly getting plenty of practice at it.
Jeff Gordon stood on the radio at one point when a caution came out. It's just never easy. Second place again for Gordon.
Yeah, he's had 8 second-place finishes since the last time he won a race. More heartbreak for Jeff Gordon as we take a look at Jeff Hammond at the unofficial results here from the Hollywood Hotel. Juan Pablo Montoya up there, Marcus Ambrose in the 47 car finishing in the top 10.
Yeah, good runs right there by everybody, but you got to go back to that last pit stop on that 18 car on lap around 367.
You mean when Elliott Sadler brought the caution out about 25 laps?
He was running in 4th position. He elected to come to pit road. And it may have been a small amount of difference in the tires, but in the end, it could have been the deciding factor. Great call right there by Dave Rogers. We saw something similar to that on Friday night in the nationwide race, but he made a great call, and then Kyle Busch capitalized on it.
And then took advantage on the restart. Let's check in with Matt Yoakum, who's with Kevin Harvick.
What a run by Kevin Harvick and the 29 team. How would you describe that final run to the finish after the restart?
The 18 was just really good on the restarts, and my car looked like Jeff's car was the same way, just a little bit too free. Proud of all our Reese's Chevrolet guys. Reese's has been with us for a long time, and I get their one race here this year, and I'm just glad that we ran really well for them. It's fun to, you know, to be racing for wins. That's what we're here to do, and we've done that several times this year, and after winning last week and close this week, and you know, we've led the points at the end of 10 weeks now, so there's no reason we can't lead it after the last 10.
What a great run by Kevin Harvick. The past 2 weeks, a first and a third.
Well, Jeff Burton, a top 5 finish here in the state of Virginia, your home state. Tell us about your evening overall.
Well, we wanted what the 18 got, but we needed what we got. You know, we've been running really well, and just haven't been knocking finishes off. And this was what we needed tonight to try to get some momentum going, laying some finishes down, and a little conservative there at the end just because of the way things have been going. I needed to not turn a good finish into a 25th or something. So a little more conservative than I wanted to be, but I still don't think we had anything for the 24 on the outside. The 18 made something happen there that I couldn't make happen, but real proud of everybody on the team, and real happy for all of our sponsors, CAD and SKF, Prozek, OTC, Chevrolet. All these guys have stuck with us through tough times, good and bad, and I really appreciate it.
Jeff, you talk about it not being a win, but is this the kind of night that you talked about where you needed big picture racing to knock off a top 5?
We do, and you know, that's one of the things that I've done a good job of in my career is, you know, getting finishes and not making mistakes. And this year I've looked like a rookie at a lot of occasions, and been really disappointed in myself on a few occasions. And you know, again, I wanted to be more aggressive there at the end, but we couldn't afford to right now.
Thank you.
So Jeff Burton 9th in the points. These are the standings after 10 races. So Jimmy Johnson loses that lead. If Carl Edwards moves into the Chase 12, and the guy who falls out, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Edwards leading his first lap of 2010.
Well, what you're seeing right here again, and everybody's talking about, you know, needing to put points on the board. I feel like this is one of those races where everybody's kind of feeling like we've got to put, you know, our best foot forward, and you saw that with several teams tonight. Carl Edwards, the 31, and Jeff Burton, for example, along with guys like Juan Pablo Montoya.
Kyle Busch on the eve of his 25th birthday. We've seen Denny Hamlin win a couple of races, create a challenge. Jeff Gordon close, but again, no cigar, challenging Jimmie Johnson. You've talked about Harvick, who's the new points leader. Seems like it's a little bit more wide open, at least after 10 races, in Jimmy's quest for that 5th straight championship.
I think we've seen that maybe there's some vulnerability there, but we're also seeing that guys are coming out of the woodwork like Kevin Harvick, and his teammate Jeff Gordon is getting stronger every week. He's putting, these seconds and third finishes up, getting those good finishes, but he's also, I think, getting more, determined to get to victory lane. I look for Jeff Gordon to have a breakthrough, weekend, and it could be very easily next weekend at Darlington.
Kyle said he was proud of his crew chief, and congratulations, his first win, but to have led so many laps, fall back, and then have to battle back and showing that perseverance, very impressive. At our DirectTV head-to-head competition, you can follow the matchups on DirectTV's NASCAR Hot Pass. Call 1-800-DirectTV. Or learn more about DirectTV NASCAR head-to-head knockout. Visit directtv.com/NASCAR. Coming up on Fox, we hope you're enjoying your weekend. Remember, next Saturday night, we'll have more NASCAR racing. It'll be from Darlington, late local news, and the Lawn to Sights program. And the Showtime Southern 500, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, will cap a baseball NASCAR doubleheader early in the afternoon, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Yankees, Red Sox, or Braves, Phillies, and then, of course, Darlington.
Lady, it's too tough to tame, man. I'm telling you right now, it would be a great night on Mother's Day weekend to be able to cap it off under the lights at Darlington.
Yeah, any track that has as many nicknames as Darlington is a difficult track, and one that will be challenging and entertaining to watch. We want to congratulate Matt and Jenny Yoakum, who earlier this week welcomed Madison Keller Grace Yoakum to the world. A new family member at 6 pounds and 14 ounces. Congratulations to all. And again, DirecTV's John Ward on his recent marriage.
Yes, remember, we got our post-race show coming up here in just a second on Speed.
Yes, fans, if you want more post-race coverage, our entire Fox team, including Jeff Hammond, will be joining us on Speed. And meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your weekend. NASCAR on Fox next weekend following Major League Baseball. We thank you for being a part of NASCAR on Fox. And Kyle Busch, who celebrates his 25th birthday tomorrow, leads the most laps, 226. And in regulation, the important lap at the end to edge out Jeff Gordon for a victory right here in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, we welcome everyone watching Speed. Kyle Busch victorious. NASCAR and Fox continuing post-race coverage from Richmond, Virginia live. We're going to get you back to the program you were watching. You'll see it in its entirety following this brief update. You won't miss a moment. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, the entire gang is here, and a dramatic finish once again in regulation, but a restart. He took off like a marquee jet, and Kyle Busch edging out Jeff Gordon, who finished second, and the first pole sitter to win a race since last October at Charlotte.
Yeah, he was so dominant early on, and all of a sudden they lost the handle on the car, but late in the race they were able to get some good cautions at a very timely fashion. Got 4 tires on that car with about 25 to go, and in the end I think it really helped him get around Jeff Gordon and finally get to victory lane.
We didn't have the drama with Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson, the teammates that we had the last couple of weeks, but Jimmie did lose the points lead. Our Chris Devoda is with Jimmie Johnson.
Well, Jimmie Johnson was able to salvage a top 10 finish. I know the car at times was so much better than that, but talk about the finish, wrecking across the start-finish line. Do you walk out of here frustrated, or do you walk out of here glad to have a top 10?
Well, I guess a little of both, to be honest with you. Tough night. There were points tonight where we had competitive speed, not dominant speed, but we could run with the leaders. Then there at the end, we had guys on tires. I wasn't on tires, and we were just fighting really hard for the last spot. And Clinton got inside of me off of 4, and I could hear him in the gas, so I wasn't going to let off. And we touched tires, and around we went. And luckily, I don't think anyone hit anything hard. So just exciting finish for the fans.
The good news is no controversy between you and the 24, but loses another one. So close for Jeff. What are your thoughts for him after this race?
I'm just glad I didn't run into him today.
Thanks, Jimmie.
All right, thanks very much, Jimmie and Krista. That's fair enough as we check the
honesty right
the
there.
points. And Jimmie, so he slips to second, no big deal for him. Kyle Busch with that win all the way up to third, and Jeff Jr. drops out. Carl Edwards slips in the top 12 to chase 12.
I think this is where you're starting to see a lot of guys, you know, kind of feel a little bit panicky about trying to make it in that top 12. You see Dale Jr. just outside that top 12. I got along with Martin Truex Jr. and Tony Stewart and his teammate Ryan Newman. They got some ground to make up.
Yeah, Martin Truex Jr. had a 7th place finish, a good top 10. So let's check back in with him. He's with Chris Devoda.
Well, Martin Truex started this race 26th, finished 7th. So on paper, that's a good night. How do you leave Richmond feeling?
Great. It looked easier than that on paper. It was a tough night. I'll tell you, we had to battle hard. We were really bad at the beginning of the race, and told Pat during that last caution with about 10 to go, I says, it doesn't matter what happens. I've never ever in my racing career experienced what we went through tonight, starting that bad and being able to make adjustments and constantly get better and get to where, you know, for a while there, we were the best car on the racetrack on the lap tracker. So I was real proud of them for their efforts. Just keep digging. It's a work in progress. I love this team. They're doing a great job for me. And just got to thank Napa and Toyota and everybody on the car for you know, giving me this opportunity. And feels good to come out here with a good finish.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you.
Well, Carl, a top 5 finish. How would you describe your evening? Is it what you needed, or are you disappointed?
No, that's what we needed. You know, it's not a win, but man, you know, it feels good to run up there with the guys in the lead, and I just can't thank everybody enough for sticking behind us. We've got Scott's an easy seat on the car. They say they're sold out of that stuff. It works so well, and just can't thank Aflac and everybody enough. And all the guys at the shop been working so hard. But that's a good run for us. We'll go to Darlington and hopefully have another one.
Carl, all things considered, performance what you wanted out of the car tonight?
Yeah, the performance was pretty good. You know, we started in the back, got stuck on pit road once, and we were able to come through the field. I told Bob, I said, man, that's the best we've run here in a long time. So, man, just fun. I wish it was a little better, but that's a good start for us.
Carl, is this the kind of race you can build on heading to Darlington and then Dover, Charlotte?
Oh, yeah, I love Darlington. I love Dover, and hopefully we can build on this. You know, Matt and Greg run so well, and we just got to get these Aflac colors in victory lane.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Well, Ryan Newman debriefing with crew chief Tony Gibson. You guys had some interesting pit strategy. 2 tires at one point, staying out. Any regrets? Did you do the race the way you needed to?
There's always regrets when you don't win, I guess. But it was a frustrating run because I thought we had a really good car, especially a long run car with the U.S. Army Medicine Chevrolet. And just disappointed because I thought we were capable of a better finish than 8th and kind of got bonsai'd there on the last restart. But it was a good effort, a good points day. But in the grand scheme of things, I wanted to win.
Thanks, Ryan.
Just a quick recap. Jeff Hamlin was talking about Elliott Sadler bringing out the caution here with about 25 laps to go, and that's when Kyle Busch, who was running 4th, decided to pit and take the 4 tires. His crew chief, Dave Rogers, with a terrific call. A bit of a gamble because Jeff Gordon at this point had been dominating. Gordon led 144 laps in the restart. You see what happened.
Yeah, he'd already told us he drove it off there in turn 1, and the car stuck, and right in the middle of 1 and 2, he was able to get back to that throttle and beat Jeff Gordon down that back straightaway and take the lead.
Curious, Jeff, a little bit about what was happening as we saw everybody okay physically. Jimmy Johnson surviving that mishap as Kyle Busch celebrates, but he's dominating the race in the first half, and he finishes, 226 laps led. Then he falls back, and so a crew chief and the driver have to kind of maintain their composure to hang in there.
Well, you've got to keep fighting. You've got to take all the advantage you can get, and right there, those late cautions gave them an opportunity to make some adjustments and get some key tires on the car when they really needed it. And you really saw how bad Kyle Busch wanted to win because he started slicing and dicing and going to places where nobody else wants to go. And in the end, he was able to get this young man right here his first win and kind of get him, I think, off the hot seat for being his crew chief.
Took over at Texas last year as the crew chief and finally gets his first win. Thanks for watching our NASCAR post-race coverage from Richmond. Be sure to tune in to Sunoco Victory Lane Sunday night at 8 Eastern for more. For Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, our entire crew, thanks for watching NASCAR from Richmond, Virginia on Speed.